Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like everybody's spaced where they are. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're all here. Thank you, Kevin, for hosting us. I want to give a... this is Wyrd and Wyld, by the way. We play Dungeons & Dragons. I want to give a quick shout out to Ashy Desu and Cami Poops for following us.
Hey, girl. Hey.
If you guys build any amount of loyalty points by watching our stream, I'll go ahead and throw you the 20 for following. So, thank you. Hello, guys. We see...
What's up, Daddy?
You guys can
why? Immediately.
see some of us on camera now, so that's fun.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's something.
Holy crap, we got 11 viewers.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh, I need to make a, well, I'm already
tweet?
streaming, so fuck it. I
my
can't
God.
tweet while I'm streaming. That's unprofessional.
Yeah,
do it.
jeez.
I'll
Do it from
next
your
time.
phone. That's
Okay.
why it's there.
I can do it from my phone.
Fuck.
Hey, I'll do it while we're giving the recap. How about that? But I will be listening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Dungeons and Dragons thing. I'm Jaso, the DM. I run the game. Who else is with me today?
I am Bailey. I am.
And we can see you now.
Yes, you can see me. I am playing the androgynous Eidolon Glacé Allure. I'm a bard, entertainer, college of glamour.
Hey everybody, I'm Luke. I'm playing Aesop, Kenku Bloodhunter, Order of the Lycan, and his alter ego, Subject 22.
What's up? I don't have a camera yet, but I'm Kevin. I play Sun Kong, your apeling/bionoid monk, following the way of the abundance.
What's up? My name's Slim. I'll be playing Rinkaz, a gunslinger, fighter, lizard folk, angry alcoholic, trying to save my best friend's bird daughter from the abyss.
As you do.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I play Invidi, the half-elf celestial warlock, Pack of the Tome, and I have the most phenomenal familiar on the planet, a pseudo-dragon named Jira.
I'm Kyle. I play Chemo, Sword for Hire. Just joined the group. Not sure what to make of these people yet.
You fucked up.
One of them shot me.
How do I tweet from my phone?
What?
Thank you, Looney Loomworks, for following us. I'll make sure and give you 20 loyalty points if you watch the stream and at least build up one, because that's where you appear in the list for me to give you points. I also wanted to announce that we're nearing the 100 follower mark, as any burgeoning streamer does. So I wanted to just showcase a little something. Everybody who has thus far followed us, as well as those who are left to get us up to that 100 mark, will be entered into a giveaway contest. I'm giving away the D&D starter set for 5th edition.
Oh shit.
Oh,
So,
nice.
It's a cool little gift for anybody who watches us and doesn't have any of the stuff that may come with this. It comes with a 64-page adventure book. Lets you know everything a dungeon master would need. A 32-page rule book. Comes with a whole bunch of pre-generated characters and a set of dice that you need to play. It'd be a nice collector's item, or if you have a friend who is getting into D&D and you want to kind of load them up with something, it's something nice to have. So just something fun for you guys to give people an incentive to watch and follow us. So I'll be posting that. You guys can actually see it on our details page. I posted it before we started streaming. And I'll be throwing it out on our Twitter, which is GAWD_mode. So, yeah, invite your friends, and one of you guys may win. Some quick stipulations on that, though. This will just last as long as we go into 100 followers, so however long that may be, if it's months from now. And then, I mean, let's be honest. Also, you have to be in the United States because there's a lot of money to try and ship it anywhere else. And once we hit that 100 mark, that span between hitting that mark and our next session, that's when I will draw from a raffle of the 100 names. I'll figure out some way to do it and just randomly pick. And I'll announce it on that next stream, and you'll have a week from that point after I go ahead and DM you through Twitch to just let me know those location details, your address and stuff where you want it sent. If they don't answer, or, you know, let's say it's a user who joined us a long time ago and doesn't respond, well, then after that week, I'll just draw another name. So it'll be going out to somebody who is active and responds. So thank you guys for sticking with us and watching us. Invite your buddies, and maybe either one of you guys will win. So just a little side thing for you guys. In the meantime, let's see here. We have that cool little +1 loyalty reward. Check those details below. That's something really cheap with your loyalty points to buy. Who doesn't have inspiration and needs some?
Ooh, me.
Oh, me.
We got a
I've
bird,
got it, Daddy.
and we got a beautiful woman who needs inspiration
An
cards.
inspiration, yes.
Are we allowed to trade out our inspiration
What?
from last week?
Glacé's my inspiration.
You are not.
Damn.
Just because you asked, you're not allowed to.
Yes.
Frickin' psi points.
Specifically.
Yeah, this one's cool. This one increases my reach by 10 feet. I like that.
Oh, I get to
Blood
choose
tornado.
two. I get advantage, and then I get either an extra bonus action this turn, or I may take the dash action as a bonus action until the end of my next turn. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
You can use this opportunity to trade if you want. For example, Slim. Okay.
I guess not.
I guess not. And with that, why don't we thank you guys for sticking around while I did some housekeeping shit. Why don't we roll some die
Oh,
to
shit.
see who gives the recap from last week?
I'm
First
fucking
roll of the night.
immune, baby.
I will roll.
Yes, it's not horrible.
Or good old. Oh God, everyone. Oh,
It's
okay.
fantastic.
Rick Bailey.
Well, let Rick.
Yes!
Oh!
Shit. And then, of course, Nvidia wasn't here, so that's Rinkaz.
Oh yeah, that's Wincast.
Wait, 1, 2. Oh shit! It is me.
Yeah.
Hey, Slim/Brian/husband. What
That's
happened?
me.
What happened last time on Weird and Wild?
No pressure.
No
Well, we
pressure in
got-
front of our 8 people watching.
We got a little more information on the Scuzziotelli family and all of the families. I remember we started off in our cells, trying to make bargaining chips by staying on this hellhole for another 7 to 10 days. I think it was 10 days, and then something spectacular was going to happen for some reason. After making our barters and dues, Aesop ran into the cold, soulless voice of his lycanthrope wife, who was terrifying, and she said something similar, that shortly they were going to make an attack on the I think it was the manufacturing plant, to try and stop all of this nonsense and bring a cure for not only her but the hundreds of little red eyes that were popping up around her. So I assume that we're walking into choosing a side between Underworld or Twilight. I'm not sure. The
I know
Sopranos
which
or
side I'm
Twilight?
choosing.
I never
We went
even
to the
thought
wa- about
about that. I have to nuke this arc.
Praise be to Adam. So we stayed at the worst hotel in existence. I think we could have paid 1 gold and stayed there till we rotted in the ground. Disgusting goblin. Terrible.
You guys could have
after...
paid less and stayed there for the rest of your lives.
Ugh. After that, we got more information on the reactor, or the plant itself, and I'm a little hazy right there as to the specifics.
for the plant. Well,
Yeah.
Aesop met back up with you guys,
Yes.
and I think Glosse and Sun Kong were able to suss out that Aesop wasn't 100% stable, and
And
maybe this is
intimidated him.
yeah, this is maybe a rare situation where Subject 22 is actually more lucid than Aesop is. So that's interesting. And then he told you guys about the plan. And I believe we decided at the end of last week, I wrote this down in the chat actually. Oh yeah. Go to the reactor, set off the reactor, get the sheets, pick up the kids from the we left the kids with them. Leave the
right.
kids with Clatter. Go to 21, subdue Subject 21, and then we win. We celebrate. We're the best because we have Hush again. My daughter, my bird daughter.
Yeah, because 21's totally gonna give her back to us.
She's my wife. Of course she would.
Of course. Why would she lie to you? She's also has a ship for us. That's totally gonna happen.
It's the best way off the planet.
Classic case of empty nest syndrome.
Ugh.
Nice.
Fucking kill me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thank you, Slim / Brian / husband. I remember you have like a trench coat going on. You're not completely bare chested. In one
Blizzard.
In one of those pockets in your trench coat, you find one weird bit.
Ooh.
These things keep appearing. I throw it to Aesop and say, "What are these and why?"
I lick it and then shrug and put it with the other 41 in my bag.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like
Murder.
strawberry a little bit.
Strawberry murder, my favorite.
The murder.
So yeah, as you guys, there was some choice rolls specifically from Luke last session. There was the convincing of the Mind Flayer controller, the true head of the Scuzziotelli household, a natty 20 to convince him to allow you guys to not just serve as a surveillance around the perimeter of the Scuzzworks, but to actually get into the area of the reactor, convincing him that that is where you believe the attack would be happening. So that was a very high DC and very good roll there. Also, you used your good luck card at an opportune time to not only get this small ragdoll that is this what looks like an albino Kenku, or a Kenku with white feathers, something similar.
And I don't think any of us were able to identify that. We just kind of have it.
Yeah, you took that in your possession, but along with that, using your card, you also received a very small sample of what looked like, as you correctly determined last session, that it was a sulfurous powder that was used previously in your previous works, which led to the incendiary incident of what eventually happened to your wife. So
Super combustible.
you have both of those on your person, and we ended the session with you reaching into your pockets to pull out the ragdoll and focus on it for
That's right.
your 10 minutes.
Yeah, so Aesop sits down with the ragdoll.
Before you do that, let me just sort of figure out some things real quick. So you guys had left the Scuzziotelli estate. I know Chemo mentioned that he wanted to do a bit of surveillance of the general grounds area of the Scuzzworks, I believe. Is that right, Kyle?
Yeah.
So how did you guys want to handle that? Did you want to split up? Because it's about, a 10 or so minute walk from here. So how did you want to handle that? Did you want to stay together? Did you want to split up? Is there anywhere you want to go, particularly Aesop, to spend the 10 minutes? Do you want to just hang out in the street? Where'd you want to take that?
I don't want to hang out in the streets.
Okay.
In the middle of the road.
Preferably, honestly, probably the factory grounds are probably pretty safe and well guarded right now, at least until we fuck it up.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe just there before we walk around.
Okay. So you follow along with Chemo probably sort of heading things up as he's never been inside, but at least has an idea and has passed by it once or twice over his 2 or so weeks here, or a couple weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
you guys spend the 10 minutes moving through the streets. It is very similar to how you guys initially came here. There are a lot of people who are covered in their garments, a hood covering their faces. You are mostly getting the idea that it's not just for the idea of trying to keep out of trouble or keep out of prominence with the tollers that you see strolling around here at a sort of gauntly pace, but also because occasionally you can hear the flapping and shifting of the silhouettes of what you're just assuming now is just acid pigeons that sort of fly from the top of the housing.
I don't know if Aesop's assuming that right now.
Maybe not.
Could be the murder.
Could be something else entirely.
Yeah.
You guys shift through the streets. You hear hushed whispers and the occasional chatter amongst a huddled group of men. Sometimes you see a figure or two in the darkened alleys as you pass by. The entire area of Scourge, as I mentioned before, is relatively low lit. It's not dim light, but there is only a bit of light that emanates from the... Other than the torch light and stuff around, it's really just the ambient lighting that comes from the nearby sun that crests over the edge and bleeds into the scar that kind of leads into the sky above. You guys are essentially underground here, and this scar up at the roofing, the ceiling of this entire like cavernous area that makes up this city is the only way that this ambient light spills in. No one really gives you any trouble as you guys make your way over to the Scuzzworks. As you guys approach, you can see the entire area is walled off with what looks like just pure stone. It doesn't even really allow you any visibility through into the area. You can see beyond it. There is a large amount of shifting machinery, even though the stone wall is probably 10 or so feet high. You can still see beyond that and see that there are stone structures kind of built higher up, although not as high as you'd initially expect, as you guys are sort of kind of peering around, taking a look at it. As you shift around, Chemo, you can make some checks if you'd like. Of course, you see, as you know, passing through the streets here, you see the occasional toller doing their stroll, but it seems like a little bit of an increased number of them that sort of patrol the grounds here at the Scuzzworks. You do know where the front entrance is, and there may be a iron gate that would lead you in. However, you would have to talk to some of the tollers up at the front. You still have your letter given to you by the Baron that would not only allow you entry, but you guys also have the express granted permission of the true head. I believe his name was Lord Drezilak, who was the mind flayer in charge of the Scuzziotelli family. He actually gave you, instead of the Baron's note, he gave you a letter himself that you guys can hand to the tollers if you'd like to get in. And this will give you express access to the reactor part of the facility. Now, there's probably more areas in the reactor, so it'll be up to you guys to sort of try and do any surveillance work and gathering that information if you'd like, whether that's through talking to others or just surveying the grounds, Chemo. So you guys reach the general area. As you're kind of just peering around, Chemo, you allow Aesop to kind of just find a area that is close by but not getting in the way of the tollers patrol here at the Scuzzworks at the outer wall. And you sit down, Aesop, and holding this small, relatively tattered, it looks like it's got some age to it, a good couple years. It's relatively dirty and splotches, and you can see that one of the button eyes is pretty loose. You hold it in your hands and you use your ability. What was that called again?
It's called Grim Psychometry.
You use your ability called Grim Psychometry, having pulled the ragdoll out and focusing on it. As I mentioned in the previous session, your vision begins to shift. You close your eyes and focus. There is a murkiness in your mind. Even though your eyes are closed, there is almost a waning stream of what almost seems like black water in your mind, as if it's trying to pull forth something related to some type of dark past with this doll in hand. You focus for several minutes trying to, similarly as you did the coffin back on Relica, discern and clue in onto some of the treacherous history of this item in your hands.
Okay.
You open your eyes, and having drifted off, focusing for a certain amount of time, you realize that 10 minutes has actually already passed.
Oh.
And nothing of some type of evil past has come to your mind.
Huh. All right then. It's a doll. There's nothing unusual about it. Subject 22 couldn't pick up anything. It's just a doll. I don't know what that means.
And who where did we find this doll again? Sorry.
It was given to you guys when you met with Lord Drezelak, the Mind Flayer. He showed you that one of the other Scuzziotelli members was actually burnt to a crisp as they wheeled them out on this like gurney type of thing, this kind of wheeled thing to show you that there was nothing but a pile of bones and ash. And along with that, he mentioned that they had found some things in the imprisoned cargo barge, the spelljammer that was found that was associated with this subject 21. And that is where they were able to tie Aesop and Hush to this, because they found documentation relating to you guys. However, Lord Drezelak did mention that most of this evidence was incinerated for safety, because one of the letters opened by the other member of the Scuzziotelli family, he cut himself with a paper cut, opening it, and was almost immediately immolated. And for safety purposes, they quickly got rid of the rest. They did hold on to, as I mentioned, the ragdoll that Aesop has. And Aesop, as you shift it back into one of your pouches or pockets, you do notice sit kind of close by in the same area is that, sort of wrapped up with multiple pieces of paper to keep it safe and kind of unexposed to the general air, is that small sample of that sulfurous material.
Can I transfer that to one of my glass vials just to keep it safe?
Sure.
Yeah, just in case.
It's a small amount. It's probably like a small, like a pinky's worth length, of just this little tiny sample amount, and you just unwrap very carefully, making sure, trying your best to not get it on any of your talon or fingers. Unwrap the multitudes of paper to get to it, and just kind of shift it over into a vial and pop a cork on it.
I kind of look around. This is going to be pretty useful if we're going to send that reactor up in flames.
Yes, just be careful with it.
Make a nature check, Aesop, or I would say something related to your craft if you want to make that type of check.
I think nature and a check with my alchemy tools would be the same.
With advantage.
Ooh, okay. Well, shit. That's 13.
Okay. You know that this may have some adverse effects if you were to mix it into whatever is going through the reactor. You don't know the severity of those effects. It's a pretty small sample, but it may have some type of advantageous, at least distracting effect.
Any of you physicists know anything about reactors? I've never seen one before.
I can't say that I do, but I'm with you. I feel if things turn south, I wouldn't mind tossing something in there and watching this place go.
You do know how to blow things up, that's for sure.
I learned from the best.
Probably our best bet if things go south.
I might know a thing or two.
You guys hear Chunk say behind you.
Oh, yes.
You are a reactor.
In a way.
You know about reactors, then?
I have a little bit of a background in tinkering.
Ah.
I'm actually a species known as the Tinkerers, so...
What? That sounds likely, then. Alright.
Interesting that we never asked your race before. We just assumed you were just this.
I thought he was a beholder.
Air filter.
Oh, God, no.
And I'm a cold-blooded lizard, but you don't see me in politics. I don't try to judge, my friend.
Aesop does a rim shot on an invisible fucking...
Oh.
Anyway, you stick close to me, Chunk. I'm going to need you to help me and Rinkaz blow something up later on. How does that sound?
Okay. I've never really seen one in person, but
It's
maybe
agreed, then.
Okay.
We got this.
Fantastic.
This is the start to a flawless plan.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a great plan.
All of our
Don't you
plans
have
always
some
go off
scouting to do or something like that?
without a hit.
Keeper disappears.
Chemo disappears. Where do you go, Chemo?
Wants to look around. Did Aesop tell us like that he's expecting the murder to?
Yeah, he called them freedom fighters.
Okay, so I'm gonna look for like points of entry for like say groups of 20. How they would get into a forge. Like that's got to be a pretty significantly sized place to fit people through. I just want to figure out like where they may be coming in so we can help cover that area better.
So you can do this. You know that there is about a 10-foot high wall that is about the vast perimeter around the Scuzzworks. It's a pretty sizable place, similar to the Baron's estate. It's got some grounds to it. You don't see any like really terribly high, what look like stone buildings from what you can make out just kind of standing here. You do see various plumes of somewhat greenish, dark greenish, and sometimes black, what look like smokestacks just pilfering out, creating a decent amount of what is probably refuse and not the best things to breathe in that kind of pilfers into the air. You know that there is more than likely an iron gate at the entrance from what you can remember in your time being here. And you guys do have the letter that allows you access specifically to the reactor given to you by Lord Drezelak, the Mind Flayer. But you would need to speak with the tollers at front and gain that access to really get a look inside of the grounds of the Scuzzworks.
Okay. So, have you guys seen what you needed to see out here?
Unfortunately not, but that's the best we're going to get, I feel. I don't know why this fucking doll found its way into our possession. It doesn't seem to mean anything. Aesop seems a little frustrated.
Well, it must be important. Maybe you just don't remember anything.
I think I would remember my own. Never mind. Look, let's get going. Is there anything else we need to do before we begin our watch?
I guess
Yeah.
not. Well,
I wanted to go in so that we could look around a little bit first before the watch.
true.
I mean, yes, I suppose that could lead up into it as well. Seems fine.
It is currently around still somewhat morning, shifting into the sort of midday, the noonish time, although it's difficult to tell here, but you guys, in between all of you are able to keep track somehow. There is the occasional clock posted up throughout the city proper itself, as time is difficult to tell here. So you guys know from your previous information gathering that with Aesop's meeting that the time frame for this to happen will happen tonight, somewhere around 9 o'clock to forward, and that's when you would begin your shift. So yeah, if you guys want to try and go speak to the tollers at the front gate and see if they'll allow you access to kind of scout around ahead of time, that's up to you.
I can't think of anything else for us to do at the moment.
Me neither.
Chemo starts walking towards the gate.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
Alright.
You know, this is how I got a lot of jobs early on. Just security work.
Oh.
Well, I trust you know what you're doing then.
No, I just walked around with a gun and tried to look into
I trust you know what you're doing then.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Thank Jesus Christ.
Let the shooting begin.
So,
No!
How
No
many-
shooting!
so how many people do you think you'd need to take a place like this, Rinkaz?
We going all in or still?
Ooh, if we're quiet, that would be good, right?
I was
I
thinking,
mean,
what?
they're going to know we're there. We're the ones
We're
folks,
protecting.
No,
We're
but
not-
what we
we're
turn
not
on
protecting-
I'm the
No,
Everyone shut up, listen to me!
I was
We're not
try-
protecting shit! We're the ones that are attacking this place.
From the inside.
From the inside. We're the baddies.
I mean, me, Yelana, Chemo, I'm sure the three of us could take this with our eyes closed.
Great. Look, remember the plan. We have to, the reactor, and then we have to make our way to get those sheets after 9 p.m.
Shoot
At
it.
least
Got
four. No. This is going to go great, I'm sure.
All of our plans always do.
I saw that last vid of you all on the patroller ship. It was absolute chaos. I don't.
Exactly the plan.
That didn't seem like you were planning. It seemed like you were doing a lot of winging it. That's not a bird pun either.
I like that one.
What if winging it is the plan?
You can't say the plan is to have no plan. That's not a plan.
Oh, it's definitely a plan.
That's
Not-
A show about with no story and no plan.
I
I
mean,
kind of feel like we still don't have a plan.
Thank you, Glace. Thank you.
for a backup plan for not having a plan, we could always just call in a bunch of GIF and bomb the living shit out of this
I feel
place.
like I'm going insane.
Keeper walks up to one of the tollers and shows him the note that puts him access.
God damn it! Oh, well, now or never, I suppose.
You see, Chemo, that there's a relatively large-looking iron gate beyond the two tollers here that is securely locked up. You notice just out of the corner of your eye that there are a multitude of tollers sort of patrolling the grounds within. As the toller nearby takes your note and studies it, flipping it back and forth, seeing the seal of the Scuzziotelli family on it, they open it up, flip it open. You watch as they read it.
Just want to get in there and look around a little bit, make sure that we know what we're guarding.
It looks up and studies you. It's difficult to see the identity of the figure within the mist of greenish smoke within their helm. Says here, time for patrol is 9 p.m. We could allow you to come in a few minutes earlier.
Well, we're here now.
We're just looking for points of vulnerability, so we know where to pay attention to tonight.
Yes, this is our first time here, and we want to do a really good job.
We need some sort of idea of what this place looks like.
We're professionals.
The utmost.
They both, the two attending guards at the gates, look to one another. Hold here for a moment. One of them holds up a hand. They turn and begin unlocking the large iron gate using a sort of key ring. You hear the large iron bars push open. As you guys peer in now, looking through the iron bars, you see a number of workers similar to the outside streets. They're covered in hoods and robes, mostly covering a decent amount of their features. Aesop, you're able to pinpoint that occasionally, due to some of the size and general shifting nature of some of them, as well as sometimes a clawed hand that reaches out to grab a satchel of whatever they're using here, some of them pushing carts nearby, that there's probably a decent amount that are Kenku that work within. You guys notice that there is a decent amount of tollers. You can see now that there's some general structures inside, but none of them are very high. It seems like if there was a lot of workspace here, or if there was supposed to be a lot of workspace here, that it doesn't look like there's a ton of it.
Maybe it's all automated? Not a lot of need for personnel?
Does it just look like scaled down for Kenkus, or?
It doesn't look scaled down. You can see some stonework built structures here, but they're kind of sparse.
I mean, mafia families often put fronts out, you know. So, I mean, why have your reactor or your business be out in plain sight and be big and, you know...
I suppose.
It doesn't seem like these families have much to hide from on this world.
Also true.
You see the toller returning. A figure walking close with him. The figure in dark garb, sort of overcoat. Looks like a dark elf now that you see him approaching. His skin is pale, silverish, almost a blue tone to it, white silvery hair that runs to the back. He, almost similar to the other Scuzziotelli, the shorter little figure, has what looks to be a back compartment of what looks like some type of poisonous fluid that he carries. You see him step up. He looks to each of you. Name Zilgar, part of the Scuzziotelli family. I received word, he says, kind of flicking the note up, that you were to come here and keep an eye on the reactors. I was given some amount of idea that there would be trouble.
Not with us around.
Well, hopefully, yes, but we had learned that there was going to be an attack on the reactor tonight. We already had permission to guard it.
Tonight specifically?
Indeed.
He looks to the other toller. Make a persuasion check, Aesop.
Persuasion?
Or
I guess it is persuasion because it's not a lie.
Can I aid him in any way?
I mean, yeah, what would you say to assist him?
I would say nothing because I am a deception character, not a persuasion one. Never mind.
I'll say this, Aesop. I'll allow it to be either or because technically they think it's happening within the next couple days. They don't know that it's happening tonight.
I am trained in persuasion. I'd like to help him.
Well,
Nope.
I'm gonna do deception anyway, so...
You let the murder out of the bag.
Glossa,
If
you
it's
can
deception,
assist.
I can. Oh wait, if it's deception, I can say something, Jason. Let me say it. I was saying it when he rolled. I said it before, but if it's deception, please, let me say something.
Bay, high or low D20 roll. If you call it, I'll allow you to assist.
Hi.
Hi.
Am I rolling?
You are rolling. This
Oh,
is
okay.
your
I
fate.
guess I'll give it a roll.
Get it.
And,
Do it.
Oh, I just felt my every muscle in my body. What? There's nothing wrong with what I said. It was just I rolled a 1.
Every muscle.
Steve rolled a 1.
There. That's an 18.
What do you say to assist, Glosse?
I already forgot. What? Well, really quick. What were you saying, Aesop?
I just said that there was going to be an attack on the reactor tonight, and that's why we got permission to guard the reactor specifically.
Okay. If we look around this area and make sure maybe we can find hiding places, we can ambush the attackers and get a heads up, an upper hand on it. Maybe even scare them away.
Prevention is the best medicine.
Yeah, like if it had been the one, I'm sure it would have been a slip of the tongue, and Aesop said, "Yes, we heard that we are going to attack the reactor tonight." Wait, shit, fuck.
Yeah,
I meant they.
it wouldn't have gone down so well.
I'm sure it would have been fine, Jason.
Zilgar still studies each of you, giving each of you a good look over.
Oh, I wink at him.
While taking the kind of stares a little bit longingly at you, Glosse, and continues looking at the rest. He folds up the letter given to you guys by Lord Dreslac, shifting it into his black overcoat. Most of our facilities are well guarded and kept very separate from the general public, even though you have the express written consent to protect the reactor area. I still must do my best as head manager of this facility of the Scuzzworks to make sure that there is no extra trouble than what we're expecting.
Of course.
15 minutes I will allow you to take your time and look around the area of the reactor. You will be watched by many eyes. Scout, survey what you need to. See the things that you need to see, and you will be escorted back outside until the time tonight for when you should return.
We have reason to believe that this is an incredible attack. They wouldn't have hired us if it wasn't an attack. You're only giving us 15 minutes.
Ooh, pressing the luck.
Make an intimidation check.
I like it.
I'm gonna do this!
Your character Shadow the Hedgehog. How are you not trained in intimidation?
Ooh.
Because I'm trained in deception.
Goodness.
I'm
Oh,
the ultimate
Chemo.
life
Oh.
form.
Oh yeah! Intimidation, that's up. 14.
I like this guy.
Fine, Zilgar says. 20 minutes.
5 minutes.
22.
20 and no less.
20. That was in an agreement, not trying to like push it any further.
Is it safe in the reactor? Is there any sort of like safety course we need to take, or?
We're not gonna like mutate, are we?
All of you have this same amount of protective maskwear that your friend has, he says, pointing over at Aesop.
No.
Sorry, I didn't bring enough for the class.
Can we borrow some?
No. But a few hours worth shouldn't kill you.
What can it do though?
Let's just say that we want this attack to happen never, or sooner rather than later, so it's squashed.
We'll take care of it as long as nothing crazy like people attacking from the inside happens or anything.
I grow scales. I will. I don't even want to think about it.
We'll take them down.
Hey, scales was that
Filthy,
bad.
filthy traitors.
Actually, that's an interesting point. Did you have any reason to believe that any of your workers might be planning this?
Workers are picked and selected from a young age. He points over the nearby Toller. They are put through the processes of being subjected to the very toxins found inside so that they have a high resistance to them. This is a demanding cause and shortens their lifespan by some years, but it is a vow that they take very seriously. I highly doubt that there is an inside attack being prepared.
All right, fair enough, fair enough.
Good.
We'll make sure to watch the outside then, so to
If
speak.
anything, they have all seen up close and personal the effects of the very things we produce. I doubt they would want to cross us.
Every scale and fiber inside of Friendcast wants to roast this guy for the last couple of lines he said. What kind of Metal Gear Rising is selected from a young age and implanted into vats of glowing green gas? This guy needs about like 17 holes in him right now.
I kick Rinkaz in the shin. I could feel the raw energy coming off of Rinkaz to just start raising Cain. All right, we'll take a look around now, sir.
Before you enter, he raises a hand. It's extremely important you have no flammable sources on any of your persons.
Oh,
What
Never.
is that?
The products that we produce inside and the after effects of what they generate can cause adverse combustible effects within, if not handled properly and securely.
Might as well go in naked. It's not like our blood's gonna catch on fire, and I just start laughing.
What if the insurgents arrive and use Molotovs or something like that? Would we go up in smoke? Would the whole factory blow up?
That is why it is important, and you were specifically hand-selected to stop that from happening.
Ah, well, you can count on us then.
More
We're the
specific.
men, women, and birds for your job.
That
I'm
is-
a man as well.
so you're saying that if we light a match, everything explodes. That's what you're saying.
The entire area is not combustible, but there are certain sections as well as certain times during our general productions that safety is of the highest measure. We take the general ruling of keeping all flammables away.
Okay.
Could we get some sort of list or like chart saying when and where what parts are more important to protect? You know, if these areas are more highly volatile, they need more protection, so we should know when and where.
You've already done most of your homework. It appears already the reactor is the highest priority.
As to be expected.
Right. Know what else we should keep an eye on? You said sometimes certain areas, certain time.
We run many practices through our production schedule here. There are different areas that are associated with our spaces here. But if they're going to attack, then the point of contention would be the reactor. That is linked to all other areas.
Got
it.
Dangerous. Out of character, Rinkaz, please tell me you do not have any potions of fire breathing. Please tell me you've already used all of them. Please.
No, I mean, I only have 2.
Oh my god. Oh my.
And two lighters.
Guys, it's been nice playing with you. I had a great time with these characters.
Rinkaz, are any of your weapons out invisible?
I'd have them on my back. I'd have my rifle on my back because that's the biggest one, but my sidearm and everything else would be kind of stowed underneath my duster. I mean, I look at the group and say, you know, it might be just good for me to peek my head in and kind of just hang out here with them, I guess, you know. I don't know how. I look to him and kind of throw a elbow to him and say, you know, it's good to shoot them before they get close, but might not be best for me to be in there.
We can hold on to your weaponry while you take a look around the premises if need be.
Out of character, and I can eat your throat.
All right. Well, let's get going then. The sooner we get the lay of the land, the sooner we can begin our overwatch and make sure that your factory stays safe.
Right.
Very well.
25 minutes.
Yep, 25.
See you in 25 minutes, honey.
See you, bye. Just walk away.
Rinkaz, are you... There is a toller nearby, as he mentions this, that seems willing to take your weapons if need be.
We can always
to-
use another pair of eyes.
Yeah, I look to Aesop and shrug and say, sure, why not? But be careful, they're antiques. They're not.
They take your weapons. There is a certain amount of caution that they take. Almost as though you get the sense that they probably haven't seen these too much before. They sort of hold them at the wrong angles, like a person that's never seen a gun before.
God.
Out of character, Rinkaz.
Bullet comes out of this end, huh?
Out of character, Rinkaz, you'd remember that Aesop has a bag of holding. So when we leave and come back,
Yes.
So-
Zilgar turns and says, "You'll all be following me for 20
course.
minutes."
I trot behind Zilgar excitedly.
I'll
Were you-
follow behind Aesop.
Were you going to say something in VD?
Yeah, so listening to everybody talk, would I be able to figure out if my spells would cause any problems with the flammability and combustibility?
My
Radiant spells, since they're light based.
you could make a nature or an arcana check.
Ooh.
Anna, please.
Advantage.
19.
You get the sense that radiant damage, light damage, isn't exactly similar in its elemental foundations as fire magic per se. But you do wonder how much overlap they may have, and although you feel relatively safe in using them, you're not 100%.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, I tried reconnecting again so we can see if I could get you to pop up, Kyle. Silly cameras. Uh-oh, Slim left. Oh, he's back.
What's happening? Oh God, all of our stuff is
Connection
is
issues? Is
technical difficulties.
No, it looks... The only camera working is yours now, Jason.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. I don't really
This
know.
perfect system of rolling.
I don't really know what to do. I'll try reconnecting one more time. So Zilgar leads you guys over the courtyard. You hear a number of people shifting and moving what sound like all kinds of just wheelbarrows and carts, which are assuming different miscellaneous material for the area here. Let's see here. He actually leads you over to, and you couldn't see it before, but there is a number of, as you move more into sort of the courtyard of the Scuzzworks, a number of open square areas in the ground here that lead down below. And he actually escorts you down underneath, down below the surface. As you begin moving, the walls shift from sort of their more cavernous rock-like state to a more carved look. And you guys enter into the underground of the Scuzzworks here. He, watching you along with a toller accompanying very closely, leads you through. It's dim light, so it's a bit difficult to see down here. There's only really an ambience of the greenish tint that flickers off of some of the area here, whether it's some of the pools nearby or some of the machinery that sometimes flickers with a light or two on it. Steam kind of belches out of certain areas, and you can clearly hear that this place has a number of piping and stuff running through it. You guys walk through and are realizing now as you're moving through the hallways, Zilgar turns and says, "We'll have to go through the pumping stations first. Once we move through there, we'll need to go through another area, and then we'll reach the reactor."
I see.
Moving through the hallways here, you guys realize that the area down here is very cramped. There are a lot of dissecting and shifting, not shifting, but areas of hallway that go off into another direction. And
Is this the only way to the sorry.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Is this the only way into the reactor?
Yes. We all enter through here, and then whatever's produced by the reactor, as well as most other equipment, is filtered through up into the air, out of our way.
Where do all these tunnels go?
This is the Scuzzworks, he says.
What does that mean?
Alright.
It's less than clear.
You guys look around and do see a number of workers now shifting. You see pipe work. You can clearly tell that this is a factory of some sort underground here.
Jason, as we walk, I want to look for like any possible signs or anything that would indicate an area where the sheets that we're looking for would be made.
Alright, make a perception check with disadvantage because you're in the dim light, unless you have certain sight that would allow you to...
I have 30 feet of dark vision, and yeah, I have advantage on all checks based on sight. So, I mean, maybe just a regular roll?
Yeah, let's just do a regular roll.
Okay.
Can I keep an eye out as well with my third eye open?
Sure.
The third eye open. It's gonna be 17. Oh, holy shit, Sun Kong.
That third eye.
18 and 21. Jeez.
Those are pretty good checks. As you guys are shifting through the darkened, sort of cramped hallways, you see the occasional silhouette of what look like workers. You can hear the clinking of chains. You see tollers. And you also see what sort of look like the occasional toller, although they aren't wearing a mask. Their head bald. They seem to be wearing some type of breathing device. And they similarly have some type of brass armor on. But they seem a little bit more agile than the sort of slow, strollish nature of the tollers. As you two, Sun Kong and Aesop, are peering out, you guys notice as you are making your way through the pump stations that you are able to discern two separate signs up on the walls, kind of carved into the stone. One pointing to the left side to chemical reclamation. The right sign, and where you notice now Zilgar shifting and turning to take you, leading to an area that is titled the Toxipacitor.
Toxipacitor?
What a name.
Oh.
Fascinating.
What does that do?
Zilgar says, turning.
Wait, are we going into that room that says Toxipacitor?
You seem to be following where that general area of that sign leads.
Okay, I point my finger, Toxipacitor.
It's an addition to the area of the reactor. It helps regulate a number of the chemicals that we use here. I can't really divulge any more than that.
Oh. Okay.
Naturally. Aesop immediately thinks, that's where I'm gonna blow this shit up.
You guys continue shifting through the darkened hallways.
We are trying to find the forge, right?
Yeah, for the sheets. That's kind of what I was trying to look for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't see anything marked forge.
What were the sheets called? They were sheets of something or other.
They were stained smaragdus sheets.
Smaragdus. God, it just sounds gross.
What?
Arachnus.
That's French for hairball.
Gross.
The hallways open up some into what seems like a larger area than shifting through the smaller pumpway, or the pump stations. You can now see a bit more sort of what look like sort of steamwork machinery here. There are a number of brass structures, and you see Aesop and Sun Kong, you guys in specific, can discern some of these silhouettes. You take note this. You notice what look like a mixture of Kenku and some human. They seem to be moving about, moving either pieces of what look like equipment, sometimes the occasional flask in hand. You hear the sound of what sounds like bubbling acid in the distance, or some type of acidic substance. You see sometimes them go up to a piece of machinery and turn a crank or lever and hear the hiss of steam as you continue making your way through.
These are the workers you referred to? Zilka?
Yes, he says. You also notice with your guys' perception check that occasionally, similar to the large steel-looking capsule case that had some size to it that you found in the open square when you first dealt with the dark trine that attacked you before reaching the Baron's estate. These large steel cases. You remember that last time when you heard the bell in the distance of a toller that a knight of acid stepped out. You guys continue making your way until leading into a bit of another open area, and Zilgar points ahead. You see a large piece of machinery, a number of very thick and thin pieces of piping leaving from it, a blinking green light on top. You can hear a large amount of steam, as well as what sounds like running liquids running through it. "This here is the reactor," he says. "Don't touch anything."
You don't have to ask me twice.
"Stay in the general area. 20 minutes. If you have any questions, ask me or the tollers. No one else."
Sure.
Cool.
"Very well," he says.
Is it... Oh, we're going to a new map.
I'm shifting the map. If you guys will shift over to the right side.
Jason.
Daddy,
Everything's black.
If you hold shift and ping, snap our camera.
How about that?
Who are these friendly gentlemen?
You guys can make out what you initially thought were humans are actually what look like dark elves.
And then I'm guessing this fine fella back here is a toller.
Looks like a toller down the long hallway that you guys first entered into this area from, leading up north here. And standing close to the reactor, a bit up on the raised platform that you can kind of see the steps at the opposite ends of this area here, are what look to be is Zilgar standing next to the large reactor. You can see the dark elf men are relatively aged. Some of them are probably older than you, Aesop. Some of them they look gaunt, and they continue sort of listlessly shifting, turning some of the knobs on the machinery. One very close to the reactor, flicking a couple of switches.
Would the toxicapacitor, or whatever it was called, would that be somewhere on this map that we can see right now? Like the place that led to here?
You feel like if you were to navigate back down the long hallway that you would probably eventually make your way back into that area known as the toxipacitor.
Perfect. Good to know. Well, let's get our lay of the land then, everyone. Jason, I feel like this isn't my token. Like
Oh yeah, let me see here. Oh boy.
Did
Well,
I
you
fall
could
down
get-
the stairs? Like
I was about to say, what do you mean?
25 stairs.
Well, we figured this out. Did we ever get a rest?
we full rested.
Okay, great, good news. And, okay.
Everybody remember your lighthouse temporary. hit
Aesop,
points.
yeah, yeah, if you guys essentially just want to bump your stuff up to the top, because you guys haven't taken any damage since then, so sorry, I grabbed your tokens and set up the lighting for you guys, so.
That's cool. I will remember
should-
this transgression.
We should be plus 10 temporary hit points.
There you go,
from-
yeah, 94 out of 84, yeah.
Also,
We're
I think I can't see everyone's health totals anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in and change that now.
All right.
Yeah,
We're
I
level
I got
10,
every-
right?
I got everyone.
Okay.
We're level 20.
Yes, we're level 10.
Okay.
This is visible to everyone. So, it seems as though the Tollers, as well as Zilgar, are keeping a close eye on all of you. However, it does seem as he stops here, kind of studying you, as though he is essentially allowing you to take a look around for the allotted 20 minutes.
All right. Chunk with me.
Okay.
Oh, I can control him. Cool.
So,
I'm just gonna walk around for a bit, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You notice you're being watched closely, but they don't seem to be obstructing your way as you check out certain areas.
Hmm.
And these guys here look like normal dark elves, or
Yeah, they look like relatively aged dark elves.
Hmm. Some tight rooms here.
What's this Kenku doing?
The Kenku over here is turning a valve and looks to you with a sort of almost surprised look, and then quickly looks back and continues working.
Jason, I'm not even joking. Everything just went black for me.
same here.
Me too.
Oh, where did you guys disappear to?
I'll go back to the start. I don't know where you guys are.
I'm in
Control
the
Z.
right
Everyone control Z.
polar, and it looks like a Kenku.
It's
My-
like somebody deleted my token.
Well, my token is still on it. It's just my screen literally is black. Like like with the lighting or something. I don't know.
My token's just gone. I can't select it.
Hang on, I'm looking around for you guys. Yeah, your tokens just like literally disappeared.
Mine just is. Yeah, mine's just.
Everybody just control Z a bunch of times.
Saw Luke here last. That area.
So Glosse, Aesop, did anybody else disappear?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I'm good.
This place is so.
What is up with
It's
roll
horrid.
20 tonight, man?
Oh no.
I'm worried about my skin. I don't want to breathe in this air.
Hello? I
Con-
can't see anything!
Control Z doesn't do anything for you guys?
Correct.
Oh fuck, what the fuck just happened?
I literally didn't even move my character.
Oh, hey,
Oh
look!
god! I'm huge!
I don't like this. Oh. Oh my god.
I'll crush the reactor myself!
Awesome.
We'll fly out of here on Aesop.
Oh, interesting. I now have, like,
Dim light.
dynamic lighting. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Everybody
Yeah.
should have dynamic lighting.
Well, now.
I didn't before, now I do.
Jason, am I 30 feet or 10 feet?
What can you see?
I can. You can
Oh,
hit
for
L.
fuck's sake. So it's dim light, but you guys should be able to see for as far as you can, because it's not darkness in here, so I'm going to have to give you guys sight.
Yeah.
So,
Oh god, Chunk's gone too.
Not Chung!
Oh,
Not Chung!
now everything is like super visible
So
for me.
yeah, hang on everybody, I have to do some editing here.
Technical difficulties.
I think Jason likes production crew.
I really do, actually. And then Sun Kong, you needed it fixed.
And
Yeah,
Vivian,
so
I
it's-
need to kill your character so you can help me drive you.
The map
then-
is slowly coming back.
Missing Chunk.
And
Yeah.
Clatter. My bodyguard.
Why? Why? God.
I don't know.
What's the issue? What?
Don't worry about it. We can talk about it later. Let's just fix the thing where we can see stuff.
There
Oh.
we go. Okay, Chunk and Clatter are here. Chunk is not a drawing anymore. Let's get him in a square.
Oh man.
Classe, where are you at?
Oh, kitty.
Did you
I'm-
disappear again?
Yes, I did.
What
Yeah,
the
she
fuck?
She was.
I
Yeah,
Control Z and nothing is happening.
the lighting keeps changing from me. It keeps going to like respecting my vision to not
No.
respecting my vision.
Roll 20 is freaking out.
I see less than I saw before. But I still see things. So I mean,
We're
that's
just gonna unload our issues on you right now, Jason.
Daddy. Why isn't it? Whoa!
That's a big bitch.
Maybe you can always try moving your tokens literally with like the arrow
Yeah.
pad. Just so.
I think I see part of the problem is like some of us can control multiple characters.
Okay. So let's go through.
Okay, like I have control of Aesop, Glosse,
This is probably what's fucking up.
Clatter. Clatter.
All right, so hang on. Everybody stop moving, please. I'm trying to fix this. And it's also doing this when you guys open up the options for your character tokens, does it ever do that thing where it like
You have to move it to
it
open
squeezes it? Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's fucking annoying.
It's
I hate
super
that.
annoying. All right,
Fix your shit, roll 20.
you're fixed, Glosse.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
everybody watching. Just blame roll 20.
Roll 20 is phenomenal.
Sun
It-
Kong.
Guys,
Son-
D&D Beyond never let you down like
Should
roll
I
20
only be
does.
able to see my vision? Like,
Yes.
or should I be able to see it? Okay, so that's different than before, actually.
You
Before I
can't
could
see
everything.
shit.
I can-
Glosse, you control Clatter. As for you, Aesop, you are not controlled by all players. You are controlled by yourself. That should range down your vision by some amount.
Yeah. I still have dark vision, which is good.
yeah, and I have my third eye open, so I have dark vision.
So it's not, yeah, again, there really is no darkness just beyond the walls here. It's dim light, but you guys don't have any difficulty seeing per se, other than it's just kind of dark.
I kind of wrangle Chunk over next to me now that we're in a side hallway. Chunk, do you think if you tinkered around with that reactor, you could tell which direction most of the power was getting drained?
Are you trying to be quiet about this?
Yes, very much so.
Please make me a stealth check.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Get
I guess this.
I don't know. It's okay. I'm good. This is 17.
No, okay.
Chunk looks at you and says,
Yeah, I mean, if you can kind of bring me closer to get a good look at it, probably I could figure out. I mean, at least a kind
That's That's all right, Chunk. We'll take care of it when we're on patrol for real. And I kind of put my finger up to my beak.
I'm confused.
We'll take care of it this evening.
Shutting up now.
Thank you, Chunk.
Are you guys coming this way or not?
I'm going down south as well.
You notice
Direction.
as you start to head south that there is a toller that steps forward, Chemo, and holds his hand up. That's far enough. The reactor is where you're looking. Similarly, you hear this, Aesop, and can see now the toller holding his hand up to you guys heading down the same hallway on the opposite side.
Sun Kong does not care. He's just walking around.
Please head back north.
Just looking.
Fair enough. Lots of little side hallways for all sorts of unscrupulous individuals to hide.
Who's this lady?
Please head back north, the toller points.
Oh, he too? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Alright, I just do a loop around the reactor. Do I see anything, like, unusual, or, like, any points of entry, or anything that, like, looks like a control panel? Just, like, anything useful to know about the reactor.
Make a perception check, just normal perception check.
I will assist you with that one.
Yay, assistance. That's a 16.
You do notice where one of the dark elves stands at the reactor here, that there is what looks to be some type of control panel with a number of switches and nodules on it that could probably be flicked around. There does seem to be some type of area at the top that you can see some feet high. You'd have to climb up there. But it looks as though the top, with some force, mind you, could probably be shifted open, and whatever material would want to be dropped inside could be done.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
Also,
Where'd you go wrong?
as you peer around, you guys also see at the very back of this room, Aesop, now that you're kind of looking around, those tollers that I mentioned. They look like tollers, but they seem a little more built.
What are they doing?
They are just watching you intently.
Do they have like a little star by their HP bar to denote that they're elite versions?
You see no star or anything denoting them as superior versions.
I just want to examine one. Just look like I'm looking around, but then I also pass this big beefy toller.
Yeah,
And
girl,
I
get it.
I give him a glance, and I want to see what weapons he has on him and what looks like his specialty would be.
He seems to have, similar to Zilgar, 2 tanks in a glass container of what look like a bubbling, very vibrant greenish liquid. There is piping that runs from the 2 tubes down to what look like some type of attachment at his wrists.
Oh.
There
Good.
seems to be, as you take a good look, a small nodule that is facing out at the bottom of his palm at this sort of wrist-like device that the pipe runs to.
Oh, what does this do?
He says nothing.
Oh. Okay. Does he look irritated when I ask him that?
Make a insight check.
Ooh, Glacé and Insight never work out. That's a 4.
Ooh.
He seems irritated. Although it's difficult to tell with the breathing apparatus on his face.
Okay. Does it look like this is something like he would spray out of it, like as a weapon out of the...
Definitely does.
Okay. Well, you keep up the good job there, handsome. Walk away.
What's this big tank thing, Jason?
Let me move Rec over there. Or Rec is here just for the effect of you guys, me being able to see it for the streamers. But I do want to ask: have you guys turned Rec on at all during your time here on Scourge?
It should be noted that we have probably lost Rec because it was with Hush.
Wait, really? Was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Okay.
sent it with
We
Hush.
did send it with Hush.
Actually, maybe Inoki and Old Ganny had it when they went back to the ship, but it was definitely not with us on
Okay.
purpose.
So then just know that Rec is moving with you guys, but that is just so that I can have vision for the viewers on the stream. It's not actually here recording. Aesop, you look at this large steel case. It reminds you of the same case that large armored Knight of Acid appeared from.
Oh, so if we cause a ruckus, Aesop surmises that a big old Knight of Acid will show up?
You turn around and see a Toller standing at attention, a bell at the top of his staff.
Okay, so that's a yes. Okay, well, this is good, guys. This is... We're gonna be able to come up with an actual plan now that we know all of this.
You also did see, Aesop, with your check, that there was a sort of domed top to this underground area, and you can see that what steamwork and sort of dark greenish smoke is being funneled is going through here, probably leading out of some type of relatively sizable smokestack.
All right.
You've noticed that in a couple spotted places this is the case. It seems to funnel out from places where they're doing their work and production, and it's quickly exited through these large sort of carved smokestacks in the ceiling that probably run up out of the facility and into the air.
Huh. Well, okay, I think we've seen everything we need to see. Does anyone have anything else they want to check on?
I want to check. I have my broken, messed up high heels on. So I just want to check the grates that are there grates on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
I want to check those, every time I walk over them. Like pretending maybe to get my heel, like what's left of my heel unstuck out of these grates. I want to check if they're loose at all.
Okay, make a investigation check. The Toller kind of shifts your way as you try to put on a facade, as you try to pull your heel out, testing it.
Well, my investigation check is an 8.
You go to pull this one and it seems a bit loose, but it's difficult to tell if that's because of just the wear and tear of the acidity of the chemicals in this place, the corrosiveness of it, or if it was done intentionally by something else.
Okay. Okay. I would like to ask, let's see. I want to go this Toller. Now, are there any poisonous gases that shoot out from anywhere that we need to be aware of?
Not here.
Oh. That's good.
Funneled up above, he says, pointing up. You see similar to what Aesop saw.
So all of the exhaust from the plant leads through this one area?
Not through this area, although a large portion of it does, this being the reactor.
Of course.
There are exhaust venting throughout all areas of the facility.
I'd like to ask, the troller that's there, or the toller that's there, and say, how different is the fumes and the gas that's inside of your suit from that which is out here, you know, kind of in the common area?
Where does your token rank as?
I was muted before and I was trying to say that I have no clue where the hell I'm at. I haven't seen myself since we got here.
I think you disappeared then too. So let me go ahead and grab you.
Fucking roll 20, man.
I was here for like a second, and then I was like, okay, I'm good, and then I vanished, and I'm like, hey guys.
Yeah,
All muted.
everybody just strangely disappeared. It may have been what Luke was mentioning that I forgot to change this to specifically.
Oh, Gojira.
Let's see, rank is- there we go.
Let me fight.
Make a persuasion check as you ask this.
Me?
No, Rinkaz.
Oh.
22.
Nice job.
He turns to you, Rinkaz. It's a special serum. Not too dissimilar from the toxins produced here through the various production scheduling. Helps us resist the immediate effects, but shortens our time.
Not to be too personal, but I mean, it's hard to see inside of your mask, my friend. What were you before? A human? Kenku? What are? I don't know how to address you, my apologies.
Dark elf.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense now. And your adaptive nature to the dark, it's natural for you here that.
You trying to make friends with them? What are you doing?
Well, I feel bad for him. I mean, if you're grabbed and thrown into a gas suit.
They buy us as slaves from smaller age, fit us with this equipment. I have lived in this suit for many years.
Ooh, how do you feel about that?
I do not feel anything about it.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure you're doing a wonderful job. I thank you for answering my questions. I kind of, whatever strange sense, maybe a soldier's nod, or just kind of a show of respect that even though they're stuck inside of suits and process that he's just doing what he's doing.
Make an insight check, Rinkaz.
That I'm good. Watch is gonna be crap. I'm gonna use my inspiration here. I actually really want to know. 100.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Good job, dude.
You get the sense from the general conversation, Rinkaz, that he is telling you the truth. And with your background of spending some amount of time as a slave and being mixed in with others, that although he is doing his job as all of the other tollers here, that you get the sense that despite what Zilgar said at a sense of loyalty, that they're really just doing it because it's all that they know. They are in a strange way a slave themselves.
Interesting.
A parting question then to them?
Sure, he just stands at attention watching you guys closely, but not really doing anything else other than just standing at attention.
I lower my voice and say, hey, do you know if any of this is reversible, or if this is just, permanently who and what you are?
The younger ones, they are toxers. He shifts his staff, his bell staff, slowly so that it doesn't ring, over to the individuals you guys see behind the reactor. They serve more in the combat capacity. Those like myself, the older, we will die soon. This is not reversible. We live, we serve, we die.
Oh, that's horrible.
Kind of any emotion that would be inside of Rincast just kind of drains, and I just kind of give a nod to thank you and kind of just walk away, lost in my own thoughts for a bit, trying to process all of that. That's pretty.
Is he going to be all right?
He just... Oh, he's just sad.
Mr. Toller, sir. So you said that there's other places that vent exhaust, but what happens to the smokestacks that aren't currently venting exhaust? For example, the areas of the factory that aren't currently in use this evening. Are the smokestacks sealed off?
All areas of the facility are in use.
Oh, so there's always exhaust coming from the smokestacks at all times.
The Scuzzworks, being part of the Scuzziotellis, is one of the busiest facilities. They run an efficient schedule. We work around the clock.
Good to know. All right. Well, I'm done here.
You can see Aesop that Zilgar, it feels about 15 minutes or so have gone by as you guys have taken a look around, observed. Zilgar is kind of looking at you, not in a mean sense or anything like that, but just kind of giving you a look of like, hey, whatever you guys are going to do kind of needs to be wrapped up.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody good?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so you guys, having spent some time looking around, at least getting a pretty decent clear picture of the facilities surrounding the reactor area, come back and meet up with Zilgar at the center area here. Ready to head back, Zilgar says. You seen everything you needed to see?
For the time being, but who knows what tonight will bring.
Hopefully nothing.
Are there any emergency exits?
No, he says.
Good to know.
I ask him one question too. He's not in a suit at all himself?
No, you can clearly see he's like the image here. He has the affectations of a dark elf, the pointier ears, almost granite-like, somewhat dark, palish face, white silvery hair, but he's not. His face isn't covered by anything.
I ask him just a quick question. Say, I know most of these guys were hired and stuff. Were you originally hired to do all this, or were you? Are you part of the family? What got you involved here, out of curiosity?
Most of these people weren't hired here, he says. Most of these people were paid for.
What about you? Just out of curiosity.
Let's just say the Scuzziotelli family isn't known to be bound by blood per se, but those that prove themselves, and I have worked tirelessly to do that. I have worked myself into this position as regional manager here at the Scuzzworks. That is why I am so strict about the areas that you are permitted and not permitted to see. If things were to get out of hand, as you all probably know, it would fall on my head, as well as yours.
Well, you won't have to worry about that.
Good.
It seems like you're doing quite a job here.
Quite a job indeed.
Well then, I will escort you out. I assume you are to meet me here back at 9 p.m. then.
On the dot.
Very well. Follow me, he says. And you guys begin to follow him back through the hallways, leading back out to the surface.
While we're walking down, I'm just gonna ask him, has there ever been anything like this before? Have you ever had to hire people for a similar situation?
No, actually. The Baron is pretty particular and likes to keep everyone on the inside who are already a part of either the Tollers or the Toxers or the Scuzzy family themselves. Interesting that he picked you lot. You must have either done something really good for him or really bad.
Interesting distinction. Why do you think we did something bad?
Because he likes to use that to his advantage, of course. He's a smart man.
What if we're good at what we do, and we did something? Perfect situation.
All the more reason for him to probably see use in all of you, then.
Ultimate scapegoat. Ultimate scapegoats.
Better for troublemakers to be under his thumb than somewhere else in the city, specifically hired by another family.
Can't argue with that.
Right, of course.
Were you a troublemaker?
No, troublemakers don't last long here.
Oh.
Like you said, you were the exceptional one of the group, I assume, yes.
I did what I was told, and I was ruthless when doing so. You people don't seem like you've been here for that long, have you?
Here, not too long, but we've been around this galaxy for quite some time already, and we've paid our dues, I guess you could say.
Interesting that you would choose Scourge to come to. You guys see the ambient lighting hit your faces as you ascend the stairs out from the underground area of the Scuzzworks into the general courtyard.
Have you ever seen the outside of Scourge?
No,
Never wanted to?
it doesn't matter what I want. He leads you guys up to the front gate. You hear the loud shifting as the doors are pulled open. Well,
And
then.
nobody. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Clausen.
I was gonna say, and nobody ever wants anything but the barons and the important people. That's it. That's just how it is. You never wanted anything greater, more beautiful, more life, feelings.
That is not an opportunity that is afforded on this planet. And once you come to Scourge, you stay here. Now then, 9 p.m., he says.
What time is it now, Jason?
It's probably 1 or 2.
Oh, so we got a while.
Oh, we
then.
got time.
Yeah, you still have a few hours if you guys have any other plans.
Before we head out, I'm gonna extend a hand out to him, kind of a, general gesture of agreement. You know, we know what we have to do, but kind of show a sign of respect to him and shake his hand and say 9 p.m.
He looks down and then takes lifts out a hand and grips yours. You see he's wearing like a black leather glove and just gives you a tight grip and shakes it. 9 p.m.
Well, let's go relax for a bit before our shift.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You guys
Let's go to the
leave.
shop.
You guys leave the grounds and find yourselves outside back into the general area of the city. The gates close behind you.
Okay, let's head back to the shop. Maybe we can get the kids with Clatter and get them to a safe place that's more convenient come the festivities tonight.
What safe place?
Okay, fair point. I'm not sure there is one.
Don't mind me, what's going on here? Continue.
I'm having an experience right now. I feel like those gases have done something to me.
Oh man,
Vision.
I really wish Kaz were here. This fucking machine planet of poison, which he's immune to, and slavery and hierarchy, which he's totally okay with. Rest in peace.
If snakes could smile, he's just slithering through the streets. What's wrong with you?
This place is great! Anyway, okay, so Jason, roughly where is the shop in relation between our destination to rendezvous with 21 and the factory? Is it about, like, is it convenient at all, or is it, like, way out of the way?
This city's more vertical than horizontal, so everything is within, usually it tops like a 30-minute walk. So to get to the shop from here, it's 20-25 minutes. It's not that far.
Maybe we should just leave them there and get them on the way back like the original plan.
I want to take out my crystal communicator and look at it and maybe see if we can attempt to call... What do you guys think? The patrollers? The Quagga or something?
Why? What are you going to orbital bomb this place?
No, that's horrible. Just in case we need a way out.
They can't VoIP us up there. Can't teleport. What are they going to do?
Maybe
they can't get down into the scar either, remember?
Well, you know, Kui has a stealthy thing on the ship. Maybe we can have her, I don't know, get close enough for us to VoIP ourselves onto the ship?
What is the max range of that, anyway?
You guys make a general... I'll say nature check.
Oh.
Ooh. That's
13. NVD!
It is an actual 19. I have no point.
18
and 19. Not bad.
Those, Chemo, I appreciate you rolling, but you haven't seen the ship just yet, so this is a piece of info you wouldn't necessarily know yet. But those of you who got 15 and above, you know that, yes, the glass steel panels of the geodesic ship have a certain mirror-like camouflage to them that helps you blend in with your surroundings. The issue would probably be the fact that to get through the scar, you have to move through the plume of greenish smoke, and it would hit your ship and diverge, and that would potentially give it away, despite the fact that it's refracting the light.
I figured there was a reason we didn't come down here in the ship.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's a possibility, but you're just not sure if they would notice that or not.
So just forwarding an idea here. I'm going to make a bomb.
Oh. Okay. And.
So, Jason, what were they called? The Toxa actuators, or the Toxa...
The section leading up to the reactor was known as the toxipacitor.
Toxipacitors, okay. And we gathered that they powered the reactor, or they filtered material into the reactor.
Right. They helped maintain the levels of the reactor and helped filter the fluids that ran through it.
Perfect. I'm going to blow that up. It'd
Do we
be
have-
great.
Do you think we'll have a clear way out of there when you do that?
Well, you shouldn't be standing near it when it happens.
Right. But what about you?
I won't be standing near it when it happens.
Oh, so it's a timed bomb.
Oh, no, I was just going to throw it in and run.
Oh.
Another bulletproof plan.
Listen, I'm a fucking blood doctor, not a nuclear physicist. I don't know how these things work.
Damn it, Jim.
Okay, alright. Before that happens, we have to find out where in the factory they're making these sheets. That's before anything happens with the reactor. That's number one priority.
Agreed.
Yes. Chunk, do you think you could help me do that? That's what I was talking about in there before I shushed you.
You have a plan to blow the toxicapacitor area into chaos?
Yes. In the chaos of the toxicapacitors blowing up, we would head to the sheet area to retrieve the sheets, and then, well, by then, the freedom fighters will be there. And, in the ensuing chaos, we can just waltz out scot-free. Easy peasy.
I'm not trying to stress any of you guys out, but do you think that there may be a chance that Hush is somewhere inside the Scuzzworks?
Thank you. We still don't have any proof
What?
that your wife has her.
That's ridiculous. She's with my wife. We've been over this.
The Baron clearly flew. I have an echo, sorry.
Who's echoing?
Hello?
Sunshine?
Hello?
Okay.
The Baron said that he has her.
So then maybe he's lying and your wife is right then.
Of course he's lying, because my wife has Hush.
Oh,
Yeah.
Even
Well,
though you
okay.
haven't seen her.
The reason we're doing this is to find her, first and foremost. I think we need to get eyes on her somewhere, or find out who does. Not to doubt your wife, or the Baron, or anybody, but seeing, kinda helps the believing part.
Listen, I want to see Hush safe more than anything, so if it will alleviate any concern on your end, if any of you could, I don't know, talk to the Baron. Listen, I'm not talking to that man again.
I'll talk to him. I will talk to him.
All
And
right.
find out. We have to guarantee that once we do this, we will absolutely get Hush in return. That's
I mean,
Proof of life.
yes, exactly, and no use of deception. That much is clear. You're going to have to get it out of him with the old, glacé charm. No lying. He seems to see through that.
Of course!
easily.
That always goes well. I know how to get information out of people. It'll be fine.
Not to throw any wrenches, it very, very, very low priority, like nth degree priority, but our friend running that business were to make it out alive, I think he would be a dead man regardless. So if there's any chance of, just let me know.
Are you suggesting we bring a Scuzziotelli family member onto our ship?
I don't think he's a family member as much as the, like he said, hard worker. I think he might have been one of the few, the pick of the litter. Remember how some of the Kenku, such as Stitches, would be the ones that aren't beaten and drugged through the mud and, forced to be slave labor. I feel like the Kenkus are the slave laborers.
You remember that Stitches was a story that we collectively made up. It was a lie.
Yes, but everyone seemed to buy it because there have been other Kenku that would be at that capacity. Low priority, but if there's an option,
I mean, if it comes up, but goodness, Rinkaz, he seems like quite the company man. I don't know.
No, I know that there's one guy who we might have known that may be able to find a place for him. Not that I trust Cregan much further, but I'm sure I could send him his way and they'd be able
Oh,
to...
yes. Cregan was very nice.
Okay, well...
Okay. Still, of course, small problem. Don't know where the sheets are. Although, Chemo, you seem like you can move around without being seen.
Chemo, no.
Perhaps when we start our watch, you could ascertain the location of this place where they are producing this good, and then report back, and then we will begin to enact our plan.
I looked at Chemo and say, I've had this forever and I don't know how much use it's going to be for me if I never have to. Maybe it could help you, and I give you a potion of climbing, just in case you need to really super ninja your way through everything.
I forget where it comes from exactly, but I don't need extra movement for climbing. So, I don't know that it'll help me at all.
Oh, you just climb like fucking your normal speed? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Climbs like I do.
What about... I think maybe Chemo might be the best one to have this, but what about the second eye, the clairvoyant eye? Like the spine eye.
Yes, that's a good idea.
I will hand Chemo the right eye, the clairvoyant glass right eye. Oh, it says Sun Kong has it. I tell Sun Kong to maybe give it to Chemo. Sun Kong, to Chemo. We're gonna give it to Chemo this time around. And if you see something, you can use this glass eye to show us your end, and we could just see it on our.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, and while we're just gifting things to our new trustworthy friend Chemo, here's a potion of command.
Yeah, okay. You should give me your wills, too.
No.
In case.
No, I don't think so. But potion of command, you can drink it and it lets you cast command. So, like, you can, like, tell somebody to get down on the ground, and if they fail to save, they have to go prone in case you need to, like, escape or something like that.
Man.
Yeah, potion of command. Does what it says on the tin. Anyway, alright, so what do I think, what do I remember? What is the murder waiting for, Jason? Are they just waiting for like some sort of like stutter in the exhaust output that gives them the key to attack, or
you know that the Scuzzworks produces a variety of different probably malcontents, but it is during the hours of 9 p.m. onward, a little bit into the morning time, or late evening. That's when they create or use the forge to forge these stained smaragdus sheets. So they don't produce them throughout the whole day. That's the only pocket of time that they create them.
Right. But what was the signal for them to attack?
They were waiting for a cloud buildup that would be created if the reactor was sufficiently disturbed.
Okay, so we don't need to blow up the reactor. We just need. What do you think, Chunk? Do you think
option.
you can help us cause a little bit of a hiccup in the reactor if we were to go into the toxipacitor or something?
Yeah, it may be more slow moving, messing with that area, but it may be better off than trying to mess with the reactor itself. It was pretty guarded in there.
Right, and also, I don't want to be around the reactor when you put anything foreign right in the top of it. Sounds like it could be exploding.
Yeah, that may also give us some time to move through the facility if we can. once we've messed with the toxipacitor equipment. Before things go haywire, of course.
Is there anything you could help me make before we go in there that we could use to somehow disrupt the toxipacitor? I don't even know what a toxipacitor is, but it sounds fancy and important and probably easy to break.
We could probably mess with some of the doohickeys they were playing on. Otherwise, I wish I had access to our ship. That's where me and, well, the snake man called Kaz, we'd make a whole bunch of stuff back there, but... I don't know. You mentioned a bomb, but... maybe...
I have a vial of a highly combustive substance, and also a couple vials of acid.
Yeah, there's a lot of pipework running through most of the facility, but especially that toxipacitor area. We could, even if we can just dislodge some of it, kind of change some of the frequency of fluids and steams running to the reactor, that may cause it to go into disrepair.
Perfect. That sounds good, Chunk. All right, then. Chunk and I will go to the toxipacitor tonight. Try to mess it up a little bit. A distraction would be nice.
A distraction, you say?
I mean, when the time comes, yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, I am perfectly fine mentally preparing for tonight. I'm not going back to the Baron's place if you would like to talk to him.
I would like to know that if he has hush, I would like to try to at least find out if he indeed has hush. Yes.
Well,
Proof of life.
I of course think it's a little silly for you to go back to the Baron, but I find your concern for Hush very endearing, and thank you for caring so much about her.
Yes. She is one of us.
Of
We
course.
just want her to be okay also.
Yes, of course.
The reason I was also asking down there and trying to get so much information was I didn't want to find out that she was in one of those suits or being propositioned to be. I know we haven't gotten much information from
Oh,
them.
don't even say that. That's horrible to think about.
It's okay though, his wife's made sure that she's safe.
That sea Chunk knows.
Well, who wants to come talk to the Baron with me?
Ooh, not me.
If it's you, I would like to go with you. I'll stay quiet, but I usually play bodyguard, so...
Oh yeah. Sounds good.
I'll only interject if you give a signal.
Hopefully, I won't have to give you a signal. We're just talking. Alright, so Chemo, Aesop, Nvidi, Sun Kong. Nvidi and Sun Kong, what would you like to do?
Do you need help talking to the Baron?
Oh, honey, yes, come with me.
Sun Kong, your
Okay.
stomach rumbles.
Yeah, feeling kind of hungry.
Oh,
Let's go get a bite to eat.
gross.
Sounds good.
I don't
Yeah,
think
good
I'd
luck.
eat anything here.
I know. a
I'll
pretty
eat
good
something.
place.
What was that, Chemo?
I know a pretty place.
Oh, it's a little quiet.
Oh, he said he knows a good place.
I know a
okay.
good place.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, let's go.
Alright.
Chemo,
So,
where do you previously one of your more favorite spots, probably, or at least more reliable spots here, is that sort of kiosk that the Dark Elf runs. You could always go there. It's not too far away. Or if you have another place in mind, since you spent, consider a decent amount of time here on Scourge, you could lead them there as well.
If it's high, then take a place somewhere I know. If it's low, then we wander around until we find some. Okay,
Alright.
yeah, let's go to the noodle.
Nice.
All reliable.
Yes.
This is great. I didn't get to eat there last time.
You really
Yes.
missed out.
It's one of these places. Aesop that is open to the street side. Now that you guys are heading here, it's around the time when there's a couple other people in the seats, but there's enough sort of like wooden stool seating here for each of you guys. You all plop down. You can see the dark elf waiter. He is running his apron through one of the bowls as he is speaking to some of the other patrons and comes over. Welcome, friends. You looking for some grub?
Please.
Chemo, welcome back, he says.
Oh, nuts.
He tosses you guys out some menus. There's roasted chicken and dried onions with a tankard of cider.
Oh man, you got an actual menu? Wow.
Stewed mutton and wheat bread with a tankard of beer. And boiled eggs and dried leek with a tankard of perry.
Oh, give me the mutton. I need some red meat.
I know what I'm not.
I'd like the chicken and cider.
Left the leaks.
You notice these all are very, very low cost here.
Give him the silver, I guess. Or, yeah, like, it's 100 copper is 1 silver, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I give him the silver.
That's why most of these people here are responding with some certain excitement, even if you just give them a single gold piece.
Oh, where my manners, Chunk? You want anything?
Of course.
Oh, what would you like, Chunk?
Boiled eggs.
You can have mine.
I should have fucking known.
You can have mine.
Okay.
Wait, you're not hungry? I thought you were hungry.
Boiled eggs.
I see.
But let me tell you, dried green onion. That's my shit.
So, Sunkong and I, we're family men. What about you? There, Chemo, you got a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, other?
Chemo kind of gives you a look. Says, not yet.
You married to your job, huh?
One job at a time.
Well, there's plenty of fish in the universe, my friend.
Killed a man once.
Have you heard about meditating? Because that tends to take up a lot of time too.
Wait, you're with me.
Yeah, you're not with us.
Don't abandon me, golden boy. I need you.
Listen, I know it's hard to trust us, right? I essentially came along and asked you to do something that might hurt future employment prospects.
Tell you what. Get me off this place. You can each ask me one question.
Ooh, a
We
deal.
can definitely get you off this place.
Of course.
As long as, we'll get you off as far as we get ourselves. That came out weird.
Getting dangerously close to poor phrasing here. Haven't even arrived yet.
Don't worry, I'll get you off.
Check, please!
Alright, thank you for coming out and saying it, Sun Kong. We were all wondering. Good lord.
Is that a
Some-
sex thing?
I'll get you off, and then you can be my wife.
Sun Kong, as you guys are digging into your meals, you hear in your mind, Sun Kong,
Roshi?
It's been a little while since I've spoken to you, but I've been here all along.
I figured.
I wanted to bring up an interesting point that I noticed through your senses. There seems as though perhaps a symbiotic relationship similar to our own happening with your friend Aesop and with his alter ego.
Nope. Not happening.
Are you saying, well, that what? They're becoming closer, or?
I may agree with your friend Glace. I'm not saying that they need to grow closer, but perhaps, similar to our own relationship, understanding yourself in all aspects can be healthy. Perhaps sometime we teach him a bit of meditation.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. A body in sync with itself, with all parts of itself, can only be stronger.
Aesop, you hear Sun Kong just saying this out loud as he's eating his food.
Yes, it's totally out loud. It totally is not in my head.
Aesop is very like messily digging into this mutton and just like with like mutton juice all over his beak. He just, you all right, Sun Kong? Everything okay?
Is Roshi still talking? Because if so, I almost like don't even hear you.
No, Roshi just kind of mentioned that, and
Okay.
you hear Aesop saying this.
Yeah, just Roshi. Sorry, I forget you guys don't hear him.
Oh, I was much hungrier than I thought. I really needed this nice blood meat on my stomach. It feels a lot better.
He's eating for two.
Chicken. Chicken.
You guys continue and finish your meal. You can...
Sorry, poor Chemo. Fucking weirdos.
This was a weird dinner.
You can
Table for 4, but 6 are there with you.
can pay your 9 or 10 copper pieces to the gentleman serving you guys, the dark elf.
I'll just give him a gold piece as a tip.
Oh, wow.
He quickly
Chemo pats
eyes
himself
it.
like he forgot his, or what was his wallet.
he seeing that they're with you, Chemo, whether you want that or not, he quickly pulls the gold piece and pockets it into a pocket beneath his apron and says, you should bring your friends back more often. I'm very appreciative of them.
That was a good chicken, sir. I'll be back for more, definitely.
Glad you liked it. I appreciate your service.
Acid pigeon.
Oh god, was he eating acid pigeon the whole time?
Who knows? You guys finish your meal. Is there anything else you wanted to do before we shift over?
I'm good.
Star White.
Always Star White. Never
Always.
not Star White. Always Star White.
Barn doors.
What kind of hack are you?
Let's see
One
here.
that likes Star White.
That's fine.
So you guys were eating, you filled your stomachs. Meanwhile, the other half of the party was headed towards the Baron's estate. You guys reach the estate grounds. You see a toller standing as similar to before at the entrance of the iron-barbed outcropping that surrounds the estate. He stands at attention.
Oh, hello, it's just us again, here to talk to the Baron.
He stares at each of you and does nothing.
Can you please get the Baron?
He looks to each of you and then back forward. He's almost not paying attention to you.
Hello? Hello?
Make a history check, Glace.
That is going to history bad. 18.
You remember, Glace, that the access to the Baron's estate required, as you remember Chemo mentioning some type of phrase to the guards.
Can I do a history check? Because it was a cool, edgy phrase. If I remember it.
You can make any of you guys can make a history check to try and remember it, yes.
13.
Give an awkward salute.
I do this thing on my. I do the I tap my earpiece. Hello,
Okay.
Aesop.
What? Huh?
Oh wait, hold on. NVD might know.
Oh, okay. Aesop chewing something.
Bro.
NVD, what was 18 your total? Was there any addition to that?
18 total. No, just 0 stat.
You remember largely that the general phrasing was everything is poisonous, it just depends on the dose. Something to that effect.
Everything is a toxic dose.
You're breaking up, man, Kyle.
You're breaking up, man, Kyle.
I think it was something like everything is toxic.
Oh, say it
Just
powerfully.
depends on the
Say it.
dose. Everything is toxic, just depends on the dose.
The toller turns and pulls out a key ring and opens the estate grounds and pulls the doors open, waving
good
you
job,
in.
NVD.
Nice.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
You guys walk through the estate. You are followed by a different toller within the estate grounds who leads you to the front doors and opens them for you, leading in. You hear him step in with you, and he lightly taps his staff on the marble floor. You see in the distance, up at the top of the stairs, sort of adjacent to a large bookcase, what looks to be the Baron. He turns to you guys. Well, well, well. Do my eyes deceive me, or are my facility secures returning to my premises?
Oh, no, it's us. It's us, honey. We're back.
Well, come in, come in. I was just ordering a little bit of lemonade. Did you want any?
Oh, why? Yes, I'll take some. Thank you so much for offering.
Very good, very good. Please have a seat, he says.
I'm gonna say we'll have a seat and just make herself as comfortable looking as can be.
You sit in the chair that you remember opened up into the floor and led you to the prison down below.
I look as comfortable as I can be, but I also am leaning forward just a little bit.
I'll sit down too.
I stand at her side, I guess, adjacent to Clatter.
For those that missed last episode, it's because he sent everyone down a Willy Wonka chute into a prison. So they're naturally a little apprehensive.
So now that we're all in the open and, that willy-nilly first meeting thing is behind us, you're not going to...
Just hang on a moment, hang on. A toller appears from the side hallway. There is a large pitcher of what looks like lemonade.
Okay.
He pours you a glass. Now continue, now that you have your refreshments.
Oh
No need to rush these things, of course.
Okay.
I also understand your aspersions to sitting down, he says over at your ringcast. You're welcome to a glass of lemonade, though. Freshly squeezed.
I nod to him and say, thank
I'm gonna take my glass and like twirl it around and smell it. Like pretend I'm interested in it. Cause it would be rude not to.
It's not poisonous.
Of course it is, and it smells delicious. So we are excited to do this thing for you and all that jazz. But I just there's something deep down inside of me. I just need to know that Hush is here. You know, just a little something, just a
Something
not-
to assuage your fears that I may be trying to double-cross a lie to you. I understand you are new people to my beautiful city.
Well, I also understand that as a very intelligent man of power, you will take advantage at any opportunities, of course. And if just some dumb people come in and will work for you for free, you know, I can totally understand as a businesswoman myself to take
Oh,
advantage of that.
Don't
So I
sell
just-
yourself short. I'm paying Chemo at least.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Anyway, I'm not asking for like a toe or something. I don't want her any harm to come to her. Maybe can I just see her or maybe you have a chalkboard. I could give a message to her or she can give a message to me.
Good, that's good.
He takes a sip of his lemonade.
I cannot allow you to see her,
Okay.
but I can bring you a ledger that shows that she came under our employ a little while back. It has the general description of her garb and make. It should assuage some of your fears.
Okay.
They're all time-stamped.
Sure. I would love to take a look. Thank you so much.
Of course.
You see him snap. He claps his hands lightly. Toller at the back of the room shifts, walking through into an adjacent hallway.
Now, when she was taken in, were any belongings taken from her being that she's a slave, I don't imagine that they're allowed to keep anything.
Oh, more than likely so. We probably took everything we could.
Oh, is there like a box or something that maybe I can just grab those? Get those out of your hair? I mean, she does need a chalkboard to talk. It would be just horrible if she couldn't have that.
If a chalkboard is that important for this daughter of your Kenkus, then I can provide you with another one.
Oh, but not her own.
I unfortunately am not too accustomed to where all the smaller provisions of the various number of hundreds of slaves that work throughout the city are stored. No, if I'm being honest with you, I have little time to care for such things.
I can understand that.
You mentioned a chalkboard, but that's easy enough procured if you're looking in the right places. You trying to say that there's something else on her person that may have high value that you're trying to get your hands on?
Yes.
Oh, saucy.
Ugh.
What pray tell may that be?
A weapon. Give it to her by me, and I just would like it back, that's all.
A weapon, you say?
Mm-hmm. A girl's gotta have one. I wink at him.
The Toller enters back into the hallway. There seems to be a large, relatively thick book in hands. He walks over and hands it to the Baron. Thank you. He begins flipping through the pages. Here we are. He shifts the book and, keeping a hand on it, pushes it over so you can see. He taps and you see the name Hush written down. You see that written in the description is the general look of how you remember Hush, the chalkboard, the mask that she adorns, a few vials with some solutions, and an interesting looking weapon that seems to discharge a certain amount of electricity.
Okay,
That's the thing.
that's the thing. Oh, wonderful. Then you shall have it here then. Somewhere, right?
Certainly not here, no.
Oh, then where?
I don't know where.
Who takes care of that kind of thing? I mean, you have people.
More than likely there's some detainment area at the Scuzzworks. Potentially.
Oh, can't I just go there and grab it?
How important is this item exactly?
Can I do an insight check on him to see if he's genuine? Like, is that if it's like, does he look like really confused or curious about it, or
Sure.
Okay.
I'd like to do the same.
Sure.
Were we doing insights?
Yeah. So mine's gonna be an 11.
22.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What was yours, Glosse?
An 11.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult to tell, Glosse. Rinkaz, as you're studying him, you can tell that he is genuinely interested out of the sense that he may have a valuable on his hands that they are just holding on to potentially, or stored somewhere that he may want to collect himself.
Well, I don't know what Rinkaz knows. So
Right.
I'm going to tell him, well, it is something that I gave her.
Is this an incredibly dangerous weapon?
Depending on how you use it, honey.
Interesting.
No.
It's a bit more sentimental if you...
I mean,
would say.
yeah.
I would suppose if my men was able to take something off of her that was that dangerous, they would bring it to me. The other question being, why would y'all equip some small child with such a thing? Not very
Dangerous
responsible of you.
Dangerous galaxy, sir.
Very. It would be
That's-
irresponsible of us to just send her out there all willy-nilly with nothing.
You certainly have a point there. Always gotta have two eyes in the back of your head.
I don't like talking to him, Jason.
To prove our point, I lower my hat, or raise my hat, and I point to the tattoos on the back of my head. I said, well, naturally.
Oh, very nice work. Hopefully they serve more function than just a nice piece to look at. He pulls the ledger back. Hopefully that assuages whatever fears you may have that I don't have her under my watchful eye. As for this piece of equipment, I'm unfamiliar as to where they may be storing it. I suppose you could ask Zilgar on the grounds. If it's really that important, though, I'm surprised they didn't give it over to at least send it my way.
I'm kind of offended that they didn't. Is the page that I'm looking at, does it have like a checked out option, or is it just checked in? Like, is it just is it like a check-in page, so to say?
This is strictly for the purchasing and acquisitioning of slaves, so there's no checkout.
Oh God.
Did it mention the necklace that Aesop gave Hush on the sheet?
It does not.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, I would love to go pick it up myself, because even if they didn't send it over, which is a little upsetting, I would love to pick it up myself.
That sounds like a fantastic plan, Glacé. Now, seeing as she is my slave currently, I cannot just give away these items that were on her person, but if you do this favor for me and keeping an eye on my little Scuzzworks plant over there, I suppose I could probably make do with making sure this isn't a particularly profitable piece you may have, and consider returning it to her. I am, of course, allowing you to take her with you once you have done your job for me off-world. I think that is particularly nice on my part.
Oh, what if I offered you something now, so I can take that sentimental piece back with me now? Like what?
What would you have to offer me?
Ooh! I like grab my like pink bag that's got like fucking jewels and flowers on it. And I will look through and take out a let's see. Well, you look like a man that would look damn good in one of these. I take out my pink cowboy hat. Straight from Relica.
Imagine.
Top fashion item.
Let me see this hat, he says, waving a hand to it.
Okay, yeah. I'll give it to him.
He doesn't take it. He lets you set it on the table.
Okay.
A toller steps up and pulls it close to the glass plating of its faceplate.
Honey, it's not poisoned or anything. I don't have lice.
It shifts it around before setting it back on the table and shifting away. The Baron now grabs it with a hand, looks on the inside, and slowly sits it on top of his head.
Oh, look at that handsome man. Ricos, look at that handsome man. Oh, and Beatty, I'm blushing.
Quite dashing, sir. Might I ask, are you off-planet often?
What was that, Rinkez? The last bit?
Off planet often.
Are you off-planet often? Do you ever get a chance to travel?
Oh, you do look well-traveled right now.
I was not born here, but being the Baron of the entire city requires an ostensible amount of work. I'm very busy and don't see myself going off-world much these days.
Oh, well, that hat kind of came with a little bit something extra. I mean, I understand a man of business and such. What if I told you that that hat would help protect you from the harsh heat to help guide you to maybe something a little more accessible to a man of your standard than ours?
That's very nice of you. We don't exactly get too warm here on Scourge, but something to keep in mind should I decide to be taking a vacation anytime soon.
Oh, I bet the other barons would get jealous of your new hat. The jealous part where it looks like you're able to travel around, and they won't have to know that you don't.
Oh, there are no other barons.
Oh, I thought, well, families. Sorry, families.
I suppose so.
I look to Glacé and say, Miss Glacé, may I?
Yes.
I put my hands up and, hey, I'm not doing anything threatening, but I slowly reach into my pack and I pull out a long tube with twine wrapped around it and set it on the table and say, I've had this for a while and I don't think that we'll be having much time to use it, and be a shame for it to go to waste. It's a map to a bit of treasure, sir. And I set down the crude, shitty map that's certainly a fucking death trap that we got. Not the good one that was a actual death trap, but the terrible one on the table and say,
because
it goes
now
perfect.
that is a little... That's a little generous, but okay. I pretend to look a little angry.
You spoil me. Make a deception check, Rinkaz.
Can I aid? Oh, can I aid him? Yeah,
Yes.
deception. Okay, roll twice, Rinkaz.
Come on, roll 20. I pay you.
Can't swipe it.
13?
Oh!
Another toller steps up and takes a look at the tube. I'll have my men look into that. That may offer some directions to a lucrative reward. I appreciate that.
Okay, well now you're handsome and you're getting even more rich. I would like to get my weapon, please.
These are all very nice gifts from y'all, but you must understand you're in no bargaining position. I'll keep your hat and that map.
Oh, you terrible!
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew this is exactly how it was gonna go down. As soon as y'all started offering stuff, I was like, he's just gonna keep it all.
As for this item that your friend's daughter had, I'll take a look at it, and if it's of any significant value, I'll be keeping that too. Otherwise, perhaps I'll give it to you when the time comes. Either way, y'all should be lucky that you'll be leaving with your lives and that girl.
Okay, Baron. Well, thank you so much for the time. And you're welcome for that handsome hat. You look great, by the way.
Truly do appreciate it.
Could I take one insight check onto him to see, how powerful, in a fight, how well would this guy do, out of curiosity? Should we?
There's tollers surrounding him!
Oh, no, I know, but I mean, if he's just the level 2 NPC that has a big mouth, or if he's the level 20 Archmage of the shitlord slum pits that could snap a finger and shoot acid out of my head.
You could make either an insight or perception check.
They are both the same, so I'll take insight.
Can I roll perception on that, or is that just
Sure. I mean, yeah, you can do any checks are free.
19.
20?
Oh man,
Yes.
these rolls.
As you guys both study the Baron, he is wearing leather armor to clearly give him some amount of defense, although he does wear some relatively not exquisite, but I would guess opulent for Scourge type of raiments over top to give him some amount of a higher visual status. Other than that, he doesn't look particularly beefy or look like he would necessarily have a incredible fighting prowess.
Kill him immediately. Take out the gun and shoot him.
I was just gonna say, I hope there's a no flammable or no open flame sign, because I'm so close to smoking this guy.
Can I see, like, the glint in Rikaz's eye or anything? The chaotic energy.
Make an insight check, Glace.
Oh, man. Insight and glacé. No. I rolled a 5. I got just 5.
Glace, you're just mad that he has your pink cowboy hat.
Yeah, I'm actually fuming about that. Okay, well. Thanks for the information. It's good to know that she's here. She is here, like you said.
The legend doesn't lie, miss.
Can I do an insight check on him?
Sure.
Like, is that like a snarky way of, I don't know, I just want to look to see if he's like, if there's some kind of dishonesty going on. A 13?
Seems like he's being honest. The information displayed in there seemed pretty thorough.
I just need to hear it from your mouth. Is Hush here? I need your word, Baron. You have my hat.
Like, that's like the typical, you have my hat, the least you could give me is your word. It's fucking amazing.
I'm not sure what else you're looking for. I can't exactly show her to you. She's working by the bone of her hand right now. Probably in some area that's doing me a lot of good. The ledger tells you everything you need to know. Those items of possession, the chalkboard, and those were all counted on here.
Well, would it say... Fuck.
I can assure you she is not dead. If that's what you're asking.
Oh, that is good. That's good. So if she's not... Can you at least tell me... Well, you don't know.
I know many things.
But you don't know where my weapon is.
Well, I know the important things.
Oh, that's important. Okay, but she's currently... Where is she working right now?
That's very nice of you to try, but I cannot divulge that information.
Okay, well, I really just wanted to know the well-being of Hush, and if she's okay and alive, and if you have her. And I'm confident that you understand why. No offense, of course.
The daughter of any adult is important and precious to them. You can understand why I'm using her as a bargaining piece to get you to work for me.
Do you have any family, Baron? Like daughters, sons?
I do not.
I didn't think you did. But thank you. Thanks for the lemonade. How many tollers are in here, by the way?
There are 3 tollers in here.
And do they have weapons on them, or is it just a ring a bell staff?
Looks like a staff with a bell on it.
Great.
Look, I'm just saying Ringcast could probably one-round the Baron, and then we could all die happy.
And how flammable are the tollers?
They are covered in bronzish copper armor, so probably not particularly. It could be a potential that the noxious fumes within their suits are flammable. You guys also know that despite there only being 3 in here currently, that the grounds has a good handful more. But again, it doesn't look like they have any weapons on them besides the staffs with the bell at the top.
Yeah, but those damn giant murder machines.
Yeah, Knights of Acid are no joke.
Dominate person, though. I have that.
Nope.
I know.
Well then, if you have no further questions, I'd like to get back to my study, if you don't mind.
Glacé's gonna eyeball the hat and, look him up and down. Kinda give him, a stink eye.
He gives you a shit-eating grin and
Great.
steps up, finishing off the last bit of his lemonade.
Okay. Goodbye!
Have a good day, y'all.
You too.
You guys...
So, how did it go?
Took my hat. He doesn't... Well, and he has Hush. According to the ledgers, he has Hush.
According to ledgers, maybe. I'm sure he did eventually.
I looked at Aesop and grinned. I say, he's got our map from Relica.
That's pretty funny. How do you know he didn't just have Hush, and then Hush was liberated by her mother?
I don't know that.
Well, then it sounds like you all should have trusted me and my dear wife.
Aesop, it's not that I don't trust you, I just think you're very vulnerable and easy to take advantage of.
I take offense to that.
That's fair.
I
But
mean,
I care about you, and I just worry that we already had this conversation.
You're right, we have.
just saying,
Well-
you know.
Well, look. We've all already talked me out of blowing up the reactor. We can all agree that's a bad idea.
I think so.
So
Did
no
you-
matter what,
Why are you so resentful of that?
I
Did
just
you-
want everyone to know that the tollers only are dangerous, it seems, because of their bells. Just a note.
was Chunk trying to say something?
Did you guys get anything else that maybe Aesop could use his mumbo jumbo weird sight thing on?
We didn't get anything from the Baron, did we?
No, he just took your stuff.
Okay.
I mean, hypothetically, if I'm
You have that. Wait. No, you don't. You don't have that. Okay, never mind.
I don't have the what? Say it,
Chalkboard.
Watson.
I was gonna say the chalkboard.
I do have the chalkboard.
Look at it. Look at it with your bird eyes.
Aesop specifically hasn't been suggesting doing that.
Why?
Why?
I'm talking out of character, but
Oh.
yes, he specifically hasn't been mentioning the chalkboard.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh.
Aesop,
Oh.
why don't you check the chalkboard?
No, we
Now
don't
that I
know we
think
have
about
it. Right?
Oh, we don't know? I thought he told us he did.
We have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Just use your special sight thing.
Oh, we don't need to bring 22 into this. We already know we're hushes.
I would
But
like.
I mean, no. But do we? Yes, we only have the Baron's word, but we also only have 21's word. You have no more information about Hush than we do, honestly.
I guess we don't know exactly where Hush is.
That's all we ask. That way we have a good idea. Because I mean, again, unfortunately, I'm not saying she's lying, but we only have her word. We know her right now almost as much as the Baron. Like, she's been gone a long time.
Sure. Maybe Subject 22 senses can pick up something about the Baron or where he keeps his slaves.
It can't hurt to try.
Right, of course. Jason, I'll attempt to use grim psychometry on the chalkboard. I kind of sit down and I meditate on it, and Aesop's eyes roll back in his head, and the sort of shackles on Subject 22 loosen a little bit as his senses kind of come to the forefront.
What is the text on Grim Psychometry?
Okay, 10 minutes to meditate on an object. I make a wisdom check and discern info of evil influence on the object according to the DM. I can only ever meditate on an object once. It's basically I just see a vision or get some sort of idea of an evil event that happened surrounding this object.
Can I give him a guidance? He goes to do that and kind of coach him through it since he's
Oh my
not
god,
really
you
willing.
motherfuckers really want to snap Aesop out of this. Jesus
You
Christ.
can do it. Focus, Aesop, with my bardic inspiration.
Alright,
I think yours is better than mine, so
Jason,
Wait,
am I
it
good?
doesn't.
I don't think.
No,
it's
you can. They're two separate things. You can use both.
Yeah.
I also give him my inspiration card, so he has advantage.
Oh my god, you people! Oh,
I mean,
I refuse Sun Kong's inspiration. But I'll take the other shit, I guess. Begrudgingly. Alright, Jason, do you want me to go ahead and do the thing?
do you need a roll for this?
I have to make a wisdom check, yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Alright, and then that's going to be roll 1d10.
guidance
and
is
then-
a 1d4.
1d4, you sons of bitch. You
Yes.
sons of bitches. That's a 6, and that is That's gonna be a 17 altogether.
Nice.
I high five and Vidi.
You hear low guttural growls coming from Aesop for a while.
It's a good bird.
I want to give him a 1-hour seminar.
You see again the murky black sea that seems to shift at the periphery of your closed eyes. There's darkness, but there's a waning, a shifting. The shifting continues to move. You see a fire. A toller collapsing, covered in flames. You see a figure that looks like Subject 21 or Malady, standing next to Hush, wrenching the chalkboard free from her neck as she backs up. She begins to turn and run, but smacks into a very large, darkened creature. You can see the silhouette. It has a beak, and it looks down on her before grabbing her by the shoulders with 2 red eyes. The fires then overtake your vision, and it almost feels hot to your senses before you snap back and find yourself standing a little out of the way of the city streets here, focusing on the chalkboard.
Aesop, what did you see?
21 creature has hatchling. I don't understand. That couldn't have been right. She would never lay hands on Hush like that.
What about 21?
21 has Hush. Under duress, like you all said and tried to tell me.
Is she safe? No?
No, she's not.
Aesop, again, a 1-hour stroll through the park isn't anything but having felt a little bit of what you feel, that you can agree that 22 and you are separate entities to an extent, correct?
To some extent. He is a biological, psychological profile born of my own anatomy.
And,
How long ago? How long ago have you? When was he created? How long have you? Was it before Hush?
It was shortly after I sent Hush off to the academy. It was my attempt to atone after seeing Melody pass away, and the weight of the 20 test subjects that came before us. But I survived, and I've been like this ever since.
So if 22 can't discern sometimes friend or foe, it would be safe to say that 21 can't discern family from whatever 21 would see her as. I put my hands up as non-threatening as possible. I'm not trying to take offense.
I don't know if there is anything other than 21 left. I didn't want to believe it, but when I looked into the eyes of that creature, I didn't see Melody anymore. But part of me tried to convince myself that she was still in there somewhere, maybe, deep inside. Maybe it's the opposite of what you have. Maybe she is the 22 to Aesop, you know? Sparks of her may come out at times, so...
This is very hard. I'm sure I'm.
I know. I think there is a kernel of truth there, and maybe if I can just hold out hope that part of her is still somewhere inside that creature, then maybe we can talk reason into her.
If part of her was still in there, would she have taken Hush like that? And lied to you?
Not if she was in control of her senses. But I don't know if that was her in control of her senses.
So this plan that she has for us.
We're making a cure, but I'm not sure what cure we're making. But the scientist in me would like to find out exactly what she has concocted. That's why I think we should still get those sheets, because on the off chance that I was just talking to 21 and Melody is still in there and she still has a cure figured out, I can't let that go.
Well,
I have to know for sure.
But the possibility, if it is 21 and it's a cure, what if she gives the cure, in her opinion, to the regular Kenku and it makes them all monsters? Because that is what 21 is. And that is the cure to rid all the Kenku of their
problem.
Normal.
I do recall Subject 22, his line of thinking is very much seeing himself as maybe something more than Kenku, something better. I think your line of reasoning checks out.
I mean, to be fair, the tollers are glancing them over. They're strong, but a pack of feral Kenku would be able to put up quite a threat. I don't know who would win. I don't know the size and numbers, but more strategies if one day everyone just suddenly turned and was twice their size, and yeah.
It would be quite horrific. On the one hand, I would love to see this whole place burn to the ground, just a smoldering pit and this godforsaken planet, but so many innocents would die. The subjects are always driven by a intense desire, usually hunger, not always. They can't control their emotions. They'd be insatiable. They'd kill every living thing on this planet.
So, even if we can't get the papers, ledgers, we stick to the plan that we had. We could subdue her and, maybe you could extract some research from her to help yourself or others in the future should this arise or pop up elsewhere. I mean, it might be a cure for lycanthropy in general. If not, you might be able to help her to the best extent, whatever you see, fit. And I think our plan's already sound. We just kind of had to put into action.
Thank you all for being so understanding and patient. I said I was not going to lie to any of you anymore, but I guess I lied to myself a little bit. That won't happen again.
Well, if it does, we'll call you out on it again.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, all of you. Let's get to that reactor and then get those sheets.
Let's save Hush.
Yes. One step at a time.
You guys have a handful of hours left. Do you want to do anything before 9 o'clock rolls up and you head towards the Scuzzworks?
I think I'm good.
I'd like to feed the colonel up there and a glass of lemonade to the first pack of ravenous Kenku.
Can I feed Chunk my inspiration to try and get another spell scroll?
Oh my god.
Sure. Give me just a
I do
second.
like that card though, but
I wait for everyone to be out of earshot, and Aesop says, "Thank you, 22."
Oh, good that I'm out of earshot, because I would have given you both a big ol' hug. You guys are getting along. Oh, this is wonderful.
See, I'm glad this is all out of character, not happening.
Roll a 1d4, please, NVD.
That is a 4.
Fuck.
Roll a 1d56.
Jason just fucking pulling
My
numbers out of
lucky
his ass.
number! How? Yeah, baby!
No, Mean Gene.
Wait, why did that get the Mean Gene reaction?
38's my number.
Lucky number.
Oh, sick.
I think there's something in here.
There's a lot of phlegm and spit that just flies from Chunk's mouth. You see him grab a 3-fingered claw at his elbow to push his hand further into his mouth.
Oh,
He pulls out a scroll.
Oh, don't touch it, Nvidia.
I figured there'd be one in there.
You see him do the umbrella thing where he goes to like sling off the slobber and hands it up your way, NVD.
I will grab it with prestidigitation hands to unsoil it.
Okay. It's a relatively clean now scroll. You unfurl it and see that it is a scroll of protection from energy.
ooh,
All
that's a
right.
good one.
I look to Chemo and say, it's never too late to decline the invitation.
Oh no, he's in it. I gave him the eye. He's in it.
Ah, this is actually very good.
Glad I could help.
Don't. No.
I'm okay.
Knew I could count on you. Thanks.
He gives you 4 thumbs up.
Give him two back.
Just in case things go south, do we all have what's good against the beastie birds, the werebears?
Silver.
Oh.
I still am trying to grow back the feathers that Sun Kong thwacked me with yesterday. There's a spot. I have a bald spot.
Is there like a weapon shop around here, Jason?
Give me a high or low d20 roll.
I'm gonna roll on roll 20, and we're gonna say low.
Yeah. Oh.
Do I know if there's a munitions expert here?
With both of your backgrounds, Rinkaz and Chemo, you guys high or low d20 roll.
Ooh, go low.
Oh shit. Yeah. Low. Yeah.
Chemo, we can count on you to go low.
Shut up.
I'll go high. Yeah.
Go high, Rinkaz. You're the high.
It's gonna
guy.
be a 20.
Hey! To the moon.
It still works.
I'm gonna look for a place called the Silver Bullet to get a silver bullet.
Be-
I need a simple solution to a complex problem.
It's not a shop per se, but between the two of you, Rinkaz and Chemo, you know a guy somewhere in the city that offers a few things, and within a 10-minute travel could go speak with him.
It's a homeless man. Like rats and lint.
You know Jake?
He's a farmer from the States, yes.
Homeless Jake. We go way back.
I make another vial of acid.
Alright. So, you guys want to try and visit this guy, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, does he have silvers?
You approach the man. His name is Kaiser.
Kaiser.
He told me it was Jake.
He uses aliases. He sees you, especially you, Chemo, but kind of eyes you, Rinkaz, and shifts into the alley, not attempting to get away from you guys, but just sort of slowly sort of backing into a relatively darkened alley. As you guys continue to approach, leaving the general streets into the alleyway, Kaiser looks mostly over at you, Chemo, and says, what are you guys looking for?
What do I know about his background? Who does he work with? Or is he just like freelance?
You know that he is not associated with any of the families. He just
Excellent.
generally smuggles and sells a number of things, but mostly weapons.
I'll elbow Rinkaz on the way in and say, play along. We've got a traveling companion, you see. Been infected.
Infected.
Yeah. Some sort of... what'd you call it?
Like can throw.
I'm not with you guys, so I'm not going to correct you.
Like it's the thing where you're one thing and then in the right moment you turn into something vicious and horrible, like anthrope.
Oh,
Werewolf disease.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bad shit. Oh, this guy's a lizard. You turn into a bigger lizard?
Not this one.
A furry lizard?
See, he and I were worried about this one. We want to arm ourselves with some silver we've heard is good protection from him.
Silver, let's see. He shifts through his very large trench coat.
Oh, God.
Nice.
I've only got gold and platinum.
He pulls out a very reflective looking dagger and then a short sword and kind of displays them to you. Don't have much silvered stuff, but I keep these on me just in case some of those dark trine people try to fuck with me.
How about... I need the short sword. I don't know what everybody else uses, though.
I could take the dagger just in case. I mean, if anybody else needs it.
You've only seen Glacé like twirl her mic staff around, which looks pretty sturdy, like a staff, like a bow staff almost.
Would a +1 dagger? I mean, does magic count, or is it only silver?
Who are you asking? I'm not there.
Just in general with lycanthropy. I can't remember if magic works the same or not, because I got that +1 dagger on the end of my rifle.
Well, you've seen Subject 22 take some hits from non-magical weapons and just kind of shrug them off. So I guess take from that what you will?
I'm gonna buy the silver dagger regardless, but I was just curious.
Oh, shit. Alright, are you any good at talking people down on price? Because I'm not.
Sure.
Give it a go.
I'll give you both, the dagger and the short sword. I'll sell them for 10 gold pieces.
10.
I think we could do that, but you wouldn't happen to have any extra potions on hand? Anything of magic?
He shifts around in his coats. Oh. Potions is in something that has restorative properties to it.
Quite the opposite. That if he were to charge and I need to use it to nuke him, so to speak.
Nuke?
I
Chemo
want
makes
to
up.
blast him.
sound, yeah.
I mean, I got some things that could kill a guy.
Oh, tell me more,
Oh
sir.
my god.
Tell me more, tell me more.
I got some stuff that if you were to, happen to place it on a blade or something similar, it may do some nasty stuff to him.
Interesting. And how much would 2 vials of that cost?
He shifts around in his coat and pulls out. Let me see here. He pulls out 2 vials of what look like a thick, blackish, almost purplish liquid. These are a little higher priced. Black ivy paste. Relatively rare here, but very poisonous. 200 a piece, but I'll sell them for 300 if you take them together.
How about you ever have any problems with tollers?
I haven't, no, not yet. Don't plan to.
What are you getting us into, Ridgas?
I pull out one of my potions of fire breathing.
Oh god.
1 sip of this, and a accidental cough might remove one of those guys from your way. Boom. Potion of fire breathing, friend. How about potion of fire breathing and, let's say, 125 gold.
For the 2 vials.
And the dagger and the sword.
150 gold along with that. Instead of the 125.
Chemo likes this price. NVD, or Rickaz could tell.
Okay. That sounds fair.
He does that thing where he holds up the 2 vials, and as you hand out yours, he quickly shifts them, letting you grab onto the 2 vials, as well as the dagger and short sword. He shovels the stuff into his trench coat. It may be a little difficult finding a buyer. Most of my things have a bit of subtlety to them, but perhaps I'll find someone with a flair for an extravagant and fiery demise.
Penchant for pyrotechnic.
Anything else I could help you boys out with?
Just by chance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just by chance, you don't have any protection potions.
Nothing like that.
Any breathing apparatus, mask, or anything, so we any of that gas and smog. You know, those vents from around here keep blowing that stuff out.
It makes it hard to sleep.
I don't have any of that stuff on me. I don't go anywhere near the stuff. I suppose if you use a thick enough cloth or run it over the mouth and nose, you should be relatively safe. Depends on how long you're staying near this stuff.
It's like a survival check, is that true?
Sure, you can make a check.
Nope. That sounds good.
Roll
Actually,
fail forward.
You could probably do it with something lighter, because like then there would be less in the way to like keep you from breathing.
Hey,
I'll
Chemo, that
take a
sounds
roll on
like it did strangle you more than anything else. So you prefer to just use maybe like a single layer.
No, he's absolutely right. I'm pretty sure
It
choking
sounds.
yourself before it chokes you is more important.
It sounds plausible, Rinkaz.
Oh shit.
Aesop is face palming somewhere and he's not sure why.
Well, my friend, I think that might do it for business.
All right, closing up shop, he says as he pulls his overcoat back.
Pulls his pants up, walks away.
Jeez, what happened there? Are you taking both files, or are we splitting this?
You can take one of the vials and the sword. I think I'll give the dagger to anybody in group if they need it. If not, I'll just carry it. This poison should happen to accidentally fall into someone's mouth at some point. It'd be terrible.
Yeah, Jesus. So I'll split that with you, 75 each.
All right. Thank
Do
you.
you guys come back to the group?
Yeah.
After that?
Who the hell
We
are
run
you? Get
away
out of here,
together.
he says. Yeah, and you guys
Oh
leave
my
the
God,
alley and
Jim.
return with the group.
All right, everyone. Anything you would like to take into the factory with you? Give it to me. Bag of holding.
I got this silver dagger. You want to hold on to that?
Actually, no. But let me look. See at moon silver. I run a finger along it. Does it hurt?
Yes.
Okay. Like, does it like burn hurt, or did I accidentally hit the sharp end of it? I'm testing to see if it's real silver.
Yeah, it feels like the extra stinging sensation of a silvered weapon to your skin.
No, like, I think you should hang on to that yourself, actually. It seems small enough you could hide it.
Sure.
This-
I apologize to 22 as well.
This one too.
My silver staff.
No, I know that one's real. I say, pointing to the bald spot on my head where I got clocked yesterday.
I let Aesop also have a sniff of the poison.
Oh, can I try to identify the poison?
Sure.
See if they got ripped off.
It's poison.
Well, let's hold on.
It's just his boogers.
That's an 11.
You have, using your background, done a certain amount of maybe not hands-on experience with this, but before they mention what it is, you do recognize it as black ivy paste, and you know that if it makes contact with someone, that this paste, it has it's made from leaves that can be ground into a thin paste, and you can spread it onto surfaces such as weapons that injure those that it touches. It essentially does a certain amount of poison damage, although you're not sure exactly what.
Yes, that's definitely poison. I don't know how you boys did it, but you found the only reputable alley vendor in this entire city. Everything's real.
Chemo looks surprised. I found 2.
Huh.
Should have probably asked him if he had any weapons from Kenku that were.
At any rate, you want me to put your rifle in the bag of holding? I mean, I don't think they're going to let you bring it in.
That's right, I can't, and I can't even use them if need be.
Well, I mean, as long as you just hit your mark, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just show them that it's not loaded and tell them you'll only use it if you need to be out. I mean, if you're outside.
And look, it gives Rinkaz incentive to make sure I don't die.
You know, I'll give him the rifle.
Thank you.
Deborah, because Deborah really can't miss. It's just a 5-foot cone anyways, but I think I'll keep my pistol.
Okay, fair enough.
Take
I
some
put the firearms in the bag.
Take some finagling, Aesop, to work Big Debbie into the bag, but you're able to kind of push with a crow foot while pulling the bag strings up and pop it in.
Let's see, Nvidi, you have magic, Glace, you have a staff. What about you, Chemo? Anything you need to take in that you would like unseen?
Yeah, a silver sword, short
No,
sword. But I guess that doesn't.
I can't actually physically get that out of the bag. It would hurt.
You can't touch it at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can. It does just cause me a lot of discomfort. It wouldn't be. I'm saying if we had to do it silently, there might be yelping and some pained noises.
I'll hold on to it.
You have a place to hide it?
No, but
Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Chemo kind of looks at you, then the sword, then at you.
All right, just
then
drop.
Just
drop
puts
it
the
in-
sword back. He keeps it.
Okay.
I'll help you get the sword back.
There you go.
Just
Everything's fine. All right, Chunk. This is tonight. It's going to be your time to shine. You're going to be the hero today. What do you think about that?
I don't like it.
Well,
it's wise not to like this plan.
listen,
I usually make things work, not make things not work.
well, okay. It's very simple. Just do what you normally do, but in reverse.
Well, now that you put it that way.
See, it's easy. Aesop says, thinking of like a cartoon of himself taking a potion and somehow reversing it into raw ingredients, which is obviously impossible.
Chemo was just doing the same thing, but like slitting somebody's neck.
All the blood flies back into their neck.
Do it in reverse, okay.
Oh god, I hope that was a smart thing to say. He sucks the spell scroll back into his belly.
If there are no other plans, we will wrap this session up.
Now, Jason, why did you say it like that? Why did you say it like we should have made more plans that we didn't?
No. I just want to make sure you guys are prepped and ready before you head there.
He's fucking with us. He is.
He's like, you guys forgot to do this.
He's playing 4D chess with us right now.
You guys you're fine to do whatever you'd like for preparations, but you don't have to.
We already chased our tail for 3 hours trying to figure out if our friend is with one camp or the other.
Yeah,
Pretty sure we got bamboozled.
I didn't want to bring up the chalkboard because I really liked the drama going on.
You didn't, I lost my hat, you evil bird.
Look, I'll buy you another fucking hat. I know you're broke until you finish paying me back.
Oh, it hurt. It stinks. Don't say such things. Oh.
How did you? Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I actually don't remember exactly how we got into that scenario because there was a point in time where Aesop needed to borrow money, and then we somehow got into a scenario where Glosse had to borrow money from Aesop.
We got tattoos.
Yeah.
That's right. It was all tattoo related. Fair
You
enough.
were broke for tattoos?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see mine? I could fly.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah, enchanted.
I mean, Kenku wants nothing more than the ability to fly, and among other things. Just think, if you didn't have the ability to cut anyone's throat, and then one day you suddenly did, it's like that.
Okay.
They got a pretty big, sick payday from killing a huge monster.
We did. So this factory thing should be no problem. We're going to get my daughter back, and that's all there is to it. And we'll deal with 21, and then we'll get off this godforsaken planet and hopefully never return. This is now on my shit list just under Relica, for places that I never want to come back. Actually, it's below Relica because I do want to come back here one day and just completely destroy all of the factories and liberate all of the Kenku. But for now, I need a break from this awful, terrible place.
It's in your manifesto list.
Stop that.
It is.
Alright, so the evening draws on. You guys spend the rest of the remaining hours making plans, shifting items need be into the bag of holding, readying yourselves. 9 o'clock rolls around. You guys heading to the Scuzzworks?
Let's go.
All right. You guys head towards the Scuzzworks, retreading your steps back to the large stone wall that leads up to the front iron gates. And that is where we will wrap up this session. Next session, you guys have some things to attempt.
Now, is it possible to spend an entire session of D&D over preparing for something and then ending feeling like you've completely underprepared?
Yeah. That's a good.
I think that's what we specialize in.
Yeah.
I think we spent about.
Jason, don't agree.
I think that was like 7 hours of RP. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 3.5 of, mass birdicide.
It's not gonna go well, guys.
So, I just want to mention now that you guys had the opportunity with a very well-placed natty 20 roll from a previous session to see the inner workings of some of the areas of the Scuzzworks, that just for general knowledge for some of your characters who have certain abilities, the entire area was covered in dim light.
Nice.
So just keep that in mind.
Alright.
The only thing that does for any of you characters who don't have special vision, it just gives you disadvantage on your perception checks. That's why you can see out as far as you need to with your tokens, besides just the walls themselves. So.
Well, you see, my rifle has my light, and I have my pistol on me. And clearly the only way to make any more light without having it is to shoot things in the dark to illuminate them.
That's a perfect way to create some light. Just do it in every room that you can.
Fucking flawless. Alright, so do you guys want to go over what we're doing next week when we actually get inside the building?
Yes.
Alright. First of all, Aesop and Chunk is group 1. We're obviously the most important group, first of all.
Dun.
We're gonna go to the toxic capacitor, and we're gonna make some kind of smoke signal to signal all those nasty beasties to come down. We got, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, Chemo is going to sneak around and find the place where the sheets are being made.
Gotta find the forge.
Yeah, Chemo's finding the forge. And then lastly, I guess everyone else is on distraction and interference?
Yes! Distraction duty!
Should we try and figure out where the murder's coming through?
Well, I don't plan on fighting them. In fact, I'd prefer that they keep busy with the guards so we can make a clean escape.
Do they know who we... They know not to kill us.
Oh Lord, I'm not even certain they know not to kill me. I was completely cuckoo bananas when I said they were freedom fighters. They are lycanthropes. They are more subjects. This is bad.
So we can count on them to be a friendly faction.
Oh yeah, they're going to fuck some shit up, including us if we get in the way. But it's our best chance for isolating Subject 21.
I don't want to be on distraction duty anymore.
Well, look. When Chunk and I do the thing to the toxic capacitor, we're gonna come back and regroup, and then we're all gonna be together.
Can't change the plan now, Vase.
But we do have to look really surprised when they start attacking, like, ooh, oh no, what's happening?
We didn't know it was going to happen today. It could have been any of the next 10 days.
Shut up.
I'm just waiting for the point where he's like, we're actually allied. Me and 21 are best friends.
See, Aesop's bad at lying, but he's good at sounding ignorant enough to pass it off as sincere.
I guess.
So that's what a +4 in deception will get you, boyo. It ain't no +9, but it'll do.
You guys also know, just in general, that it seemed like they only want you to stay within the range of the reactor room.
Yep.
So just be mindful of that.
That's why we got to
Distraction duty team, yeah.
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 All right. Well, that is the end of our stream. Thank you very much, everybody who stayed around to watch. Thank you again, Cami Poops, Ashi Disu, Looney Loomworks for following us. It's very nice of you guys. And thank you for watching our user list. These may be robots, some of them I don't know. Avocado Badato, Commander Root, Cycle Motion, Electrical Longboard. Thank you, Husband and Wife Stream, Looney Loomworks, Polize. Shit, fuck. That's the way it's spelled.
Good
Shit,
name.
fuck. Let's see here. V and K and Virgo Pros. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to follow us, please do so. We're working to get to 100, and I will be sending out the D&D starter kit for a lucky winner somewhere in that 100 people mark.
Yeah, good luck.
Follow us there. You can take a look at our Twitter to see when our next session is, and we also post it on the details below. We also do loyalty points. Those of you who followed get 20 points, and if you watch you get more, so take a look at all that stuff. If you have an Amazon Prime account, just throw that free subscription at us if you're not currently using it. Why the fuck not? All of that, as I mentioned before, goes right back into the stream because I buy an exorbitant amount of marketplace Roll20 shit that I probably shouldn't, but do anyway. So thank you guys. If you missed any of these episodes, you can find them on our Twitch page as well as our YouTube stuff. You can either search Wyrd and Wyld or God Mode, GAWD_mode. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.